Let's see how you fare against these odds. Wretched mortals. Worms.
Champion rank 123. What'd you call me?
things are weak, there is pain and shame. Darkness. You've done nothing, mortal.
Yeah, what up, buddy? Yeah, I was I was thinking about just queuing for a random dungeon, and you get the skill point at the end. I haven't done any of them, really. Works out really good right now because I'm just sitting at this delve. I mean, just to farm CP, and I'm kind of messing around on the PS4, trying to help the guild out a little bit here and there. It's like a lazy way of grinding CP, but
I don't want revenge. I want your submission.
Yeah, I do all the DPS while I heal. So what's on my back bar right now? So I got my 2 damage shields, my streak, my crit surge, and my dark deal. I just don't have a resto. I don't know. Are you busy right now? What's the possibilities? Are you farming me or crafting me some gear? I don't know. Probably just 160 gear. Like, I don't really see a point of crafting anything but 160 gear. I was talking to Demise, but anybody really. I mean, you got time though. I'm CP 124, and I just feel like it would be dumb for me to ask somebody to make something. But you know what I mean. Other than 160, I can grind to 160. Just anytime, you know. Because I think I'll sit here and just farm this delve until I'm 160. And when I'm 160, I'll just do every random dungeon I can think of. Make a 160. Make me a 160 set and I won't use it for long. What do you mean? Like, why wouldn't I use it for long? Just out of curiosity. Hell yeah, Darius. Hell yeah, buddy. I don't fuck around and shit, you know what I mean? Yeah, if I'm doing random dungeons, I'll probably pick up gear. So maybe what I'll do is as soon as I get to 160, I'll go to wherever you get what is it? Mother Sorrow. I'll go wherever you get Mother Sorrow. I'll go farm that, and I'll pair it with Julianus, and I'll get myself like a PvE and a PvP set. Julianus and Mother Sorrow.
tenacity, mortals.
To leave possession.
Wait, is this? Oh yeah. What up? What up? Testing 1 2. There we go.
Hello, hello.
What up?
How much is it going?
I'm kind of breaking up. Is this Brewman?
This is Brewman.
All right. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. You sound a lot different than what I thought you were gonna sound like.
Really? You think I was gonna sound like?
I don't know. Your voice is just deeper than I thought it was going to be. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Hey, how you doing? No, it's all good, man. I don't know why, like, when you meet somebody, you kind of assume this and you assume that. A lot of times, you assume somebody's a male and they end up being a female. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of
Right,
funny
yeah.
how that works.
Why? Yeah, I jumped in here when you went offline just in case you wanted to see what we were seeing. Seeing if trying to get back up.
Yeah, kind of what the deal is I gotta hop out of this chat real quick. I'm in another chat you probably can't hear, and they're kind of disturbing. Okay, first of all, I think I need a better gaming computer. I think I need to get a better graphics card, things like that. But I don't know anybody else other than myself that streams from multiple platforms. So I'm streaming from like Twitch and YouTube and Facebook all at the same time, and I think that's also so. If I'm going to do that, I think even if I wasn't doing that, I think I still would have some issues. But that's just not helping, I guess. You know what I mean?
True. Right. Yep.
So if I'm gonna do that, I at least probably want to get like a really, really good gaming computer. But I still want to keep trying. I mean, it seems like it works sometimes. And I don't know, but I just imagine all the people that all the people that are watching me, and it's maybe not the most exciting stream in the world, and then all of a sudden, my stream kicks off or whatever, and they probably don't come back, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's probably not very helpful, not very professional, not efficient. But in the long run, I have a feeling that as long as I continue just streaming and shit, it'll be all right.
Right.
Can't please everybody, kind of thing. But
Right.
the key is to keep going.
Exactly. You might want to make sure your processor is running good. Nothing's overloaded. And it might be like your switches or your internet. Maybe you got a restriction going along there somewhere.
Yeah, maybe. What the hell? This is all level 34 shit? I don't want that. What the hell? It's all level 34 shit.
Is that your old training gear?
Oh, I'm talking about on the PS4. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of hanging out at this dome and just like getting some hits off, so I get the XP for it.
Right.
But then instead of running domain to domain, I'm just standing here waiting for the next domain, because I took some notes earlier. It takes 4 minutes and 24 seconds once the domain's done for the next one to start, and it takes about 1 minute and 30 seconds to complete the domain. So it takes about 6 minutes round trip, 5.5 minutes, and you're going to get about 20k experience every 5.5 minutes, give or take. So, if you're looking for like a non-stressful way to level up, then it's a pretty good way, because you just stand here and just you don't have to join a group. You just freaking for anybody that's interested in joining this Discord, by the way, him and I are talking in the Discord. I don't know if you guys can hear him talk, but that's the Discord. If that link don't work, let me know. But we got a general chat in there for anybody that's on the PC or whatever, if you just want to stop by and say hi. But yeah, so what I'm doing on the PS4 right now is I'm gearing up my Stam Sork. So if anybody's ever wondering how a guy like me keeps all this shit straight, I kind of do the same thing on every platform. So my first tune is going to be my Mag Sork. My second tune is going to be my Stam Sork. You know what I mean? And just kind of so on and so forth. So what I did is I went on my Mag Sork. And I got last night, I was PvPing on my Mag Sork over there a little bit. And I got it to over 100,000 AP for that campaign. And now I'm just kind of putting together my Stam Sork on the PS4 while I'm sitting here and waiting for this domain. So all you have to do really is put in a minute and 30 or a minute and a half, 90 seconds worth of work, and then you got 4.5 minutes of rest. So it's, if you're looking for like a non-grindy, you know what I mean?
Right. That's cool.
Yeah. All I know is last night it was hard for me to log off. Late at night, I was getting so much XP, man, for these domains. Like, I wasn't in a group, and God, I swear I was getting like 60, 70k experience per domain. And I don't know if it was just because there wasn't very many people online or what, but oh my God, it was awesome. It was really hard for me to log off.
Yeah, second person is a bonus. Third person is, three or more starts getting me a penalty. Right. So two in a group is perfect. And you just run around in groups of 2 and kill things, and 10 groups of 2, and you kill things real fast, and everybody levels real fast. Some of these areas, though, people don't understand that, especially up in the Craiglorn. There's a really good grinding site up there. Problem is, get all these people who think if you hit their targets, you're stealing their points and all that. And don't understand. So they jump in front of you, kill the mobs up there. So then all of a sudden, you got 2 or 3 groups doing that. All of a sudden, everybody's running around. All of a sudden, everybody's just waiting for things to respawn. So it's like if everybody works together, everybody levels super fast. You get a lot of these people who just don't understand how the whole thing works. So they're up there pulling groups off and kind of hiding behind a hill so no one sees them, so they don't hit their mobs and get their points. It's like, oh my god, it just messes things up.
Yeah, I was up pretty late last night though because of the amount of XP I was getting. I just couldn't justify going to bed. Like, no,
Yeah,
I'm trying to level up and it's just so fast. If you remember, I was level 37 yesterday, wasn't I?
yep, yep.
Or was it 47?
Well, I think you might have been in the 40s, so I can't remember. You were going pretty fast already. Yeah, up in Craiglorn, I was with a bunch of groups and we were all working together real well. I got one of my tunes from actually one tune I was hanging with you with the what was that? Was that the shoot? Was that the not the Magsork, the Stamden? The Stamden I was hanging with you with. I got him up to from like 25 to 50 in probably about 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And he's moving real fast. But everybody was working together, and that was a real fast grind.
Yeah.
Problem is, I go up there lately, and no one's working together. It just messes everything up. So it's almost worthless to go up there.
I don't remember. Did you get a banker or a merchant?
Merchant.
Okay, so you're in here now. So if you want, I'll keep my banker out, and you keep your merchant out. That way we can just use each other's shit if you want, whatever. I don't know. Are you still here? Yeah, you're still here, right? I don't know where you're at. Oh, you're right here. Because what I do is I just maximize my bank space or whatever. Like, I just keep depositing everything I can in the bank, and then once I'm completely full, my bags are full, my bank is full, then I go and deconstruct everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about how much of a struggle it can be, you know, on the PC compared to the PS4. I mean, there's many different variables that are going to make it more difficult. But I can see the potential, and the reason, like, so the majority of your opponents probably aren't going to be communicating with each other, right? The majority, maybe not all, but the majority, I would say. They're not in, like, you know, party chats and whatnot. So I can see how, like, as we're starting to get into PvP a little more and stuff, we're going to want to probably try to get people that are willing to join a Discord, you know? A lot of the guilds that I have been invited to on the PC, it's mandatory to be in their Discord to even be a part of their guild. Like, if you're not a part of their Discord, they'll end up booting you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm, like, willing to go that far, but, like, I kind of want to take what I've learned from the PS4 and apply it to the PC. And one of the things that we struggle with on the PS4 is disorganization. You know what I mean? Like, people not, you need to have people that are willing to be organized, and just a little bit of preparedness, can go a long ways. Just a little bit of effort into, communication, like, hey man, I'm getting ganked in the back, whatever. Just a little bit of talking, a little bit of effort, can really go a long way. And I can see
you gotta have communication. Have to have it in PvP.
Yeah, and I can see how probably a lot of the people that you're fighting, I mean, I would say a lot of, maybe, I don't know, but I would probably argue, just on an assumption or a prediction, that like half of the people at PvP don't communicate. They just run around. And so in which case, if you're communicating, you're going to have that edge,
Well, you see a difference in the groups that communicate and ones that don't. Ones that are real tight ball, they're running through, they all know what to do, they're all communicating, they're just stopping people.
So I think what we're going to do when I start is we're going to do more like, kind of like, behind the scenes, small scale, whatever. I don't really care if it's small scale or not, but it's probably going to just be naturally small scale. And like, the way that the PvP works on the PC, as far as I've seen and I hear and everything, and like when I came to PC, DC was in last place, and then next thing you know, they're in first place, and like right now I think they're in last place, and it's like it seems like it fluctuates. Like all three alliances kind of fight for first place, and they're all within a couple thousand points of one another. So I can see how it's not going to take much to kind of really help out, if that makes sense. Like, like we might not go head in and just start trying to hit people head on and everything, for fear of, they've been playing PC a lot longer and just better, whatever. But to do like, resource lock something, flag it, like kind of the things that we do when we're outnumbered on the PS4. You know what I mean? So we go and like, maybe flag something, then resource lock it, leave one person to distract it as like maybe some invisibility potions and a camp setup. And then just do a lot of stuff like that. And I have a feeling that those type of tactics are going to go a long fucking way on the PC, Like really, honestly, I have a feeling that once we get our shit together, we go in there, like maybe DC might be in first for a long time, you know what I mean? Like just because of a lot of times just that little bit, just a little bit. Just like I remember when we went to the fucking 30-day campaign and you guys were still on the 7-day campaign. I went into the 30-day campaign like prematurely but before the guild did. And I literally, that King's Crest reach around idea that you guys see me do, I kind of did that myself. And I went in there and just to see what, so I would flag to keep over there. And I'd keep doing that over and over again. They'd keep sending 30 people after me. And you'd see the map start turning into our favor because of just me, one person, distracting that many people, you know what I mean? And it's, so they can't push forward when they're constantly having to pull back, so it's, I don't know. So I have a lot of, I don't know, high hopes or whatever you want to call it.
Yep, especially if you get some guilds working together. So you may have a small guild, a small group. A small group can be real effective. They can go in and flip a tower or way up there, cut their chain, where they can't, waste shine out there, and then the big guild just take 2 or 3 keeps at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So do a lot of that, a lot of distraction, a lot of stuff to get people chasing them. The little small group, and it's a little small group. Years ago, I was in a guild. We only had probably about 5 to 10 active people all the time. So we generally pretty small. That's back when there was freaking 50 in a group. Big old Zergs going. Now they limited it to 12 or something like that in PvP. But it used to be they had huge Zergs going, and we just set up farms. Like we have 6 to 10 of us, and we take out the whole group. Just with a bunch of siege, a bunch of oils, and little barns, and all kinds of stuff. Crossfire.
The mines. I'm gonna post in the chat what my setup is. I'm just gonna literally just post everything that I have going on. Give me a few moments to get this set up. You still there, Demise? Okay. So yeah, I'll post what I have going on here. Basically what I'm doing, kind of like the big pictures, my plan was to stream from the PS4 through a gaming computer with 2 monitors. And eventually I kind of found that 2 monitors wasn't enough, so I'm now streaming through a PS4, or from a PS4 through a PC with 3 monitors. But then I started realizing that I started experimenting a little bit with, ESO on the PC. So now where it becomes a little bit confusing is, like right now I literally can switch. You probably seen me do this. Okay, be right back. Yeah, all right. I'll wait till you come back. Oh, there's your merchant right there. Okay, so just gonna kind of apologize in advance because this is gonna be like a really, really long explanation. But so I went from streaming from my PS4 to streaming from my PS4 through a gaming PC with a capture card and all that stuff, right? To get a better picture quality and all that stuff, and so I'm gonna kind of just start right there, and I'm gonna start posting what I have here. So yeah, so if you watch this real quick, right? I have the capability of, right now I'm obviously on the PC, right? This is the PC. You can see, press E to talk. Well, just with the click of a button, I'm now on the PS4. And I'm doing my writs. And I can stream that just like that. By streaming on both platforms through one PC. Yeah, so I'm actually streaming on 3 different platforms from two different it's like if you're calling PS4 a platform and PC a platform, I am streaming from 2 different platforms through a gaming PC, but I'm also streaming to 3 different platforms, so like Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, which I mean is a yeah, so a lot of times another thing I can do here is I can block out my PS4, I can block out my PC, and now what you're seeing are my monitors. Okay, so this is this is my first monitor, which is my PC, and then my second monitor, which is my software. So like down here, you can see open performance window. Your stream quality is good, dropping 0.5 frames per second. But if you click on this right here, earlier, for anybody that was watching, my stream like literally just crashed. I mean, and then it has a bunch of issues, and I think that's because of what we're speaking about. So what we're talking about. So I mean, I liked, especially, somebody like me. I mean, I'm like a lot of times I'm constantly being hunted down and things like that. So it's nice actually when I know I got 5-10 people trying to stream snipe me to just switch from the PS4 to the PC. But you know what I mean. And then they gotta watch me. 1 second here. So if we're trying to push for Emp or something, we're trying to whatever, and I know for a fact they're stream sniping me. It's so obvious sometimes when they do that. I can really quick switch to my PC, shut off my PS4 audios. They can't hear anything that's going on, and all they see is what's going on right here. It's nice to be able to do that. So it's also nice. Like right now, I'm farming some CP. I could be scouting on the PS4 and whatever. Anyway, you could cut back your bitrate too. Making separate PC for the PS4. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. Yeah, I gotta do something, that's for sure. So maybe I'll just, in the near future, I'll invest in like a better PC, and I'll use that one, my gaming one. Maybe use this one to stream through my PS4 or something. I don't know. But I'm gonna link what I have here and just kind of show you, and then I'm gonna kind of tell you what I've learned throughout the process in case anybody. I would be interested in trying to cut back the bit rate. That's something I've never done. But real quick, let me just do this real quick. So this is the gaming PC that I have. Like, this is the tower that I have. I have this right here is my PC tower. Here's a link. And then I have 2 of these monitors right here. Here's the link. And then I have 2 of these that are plugged into the back. There's another link for that. They're plugged into the back of my Astro mix amp. So this one. So I have an Astro mix amp like this, microphone and all that, and I plug those things into the back of it. So I got a microphone. I mean, it's a pretty expensive microphone with the little duals. That's not including this here. This is a Yeti. Okay, I know that CPU is more than enough. That's an 8-score 16 threaded specifically. It's great for multitasking. So the 5700, that's the graphics card, right? So that's actually what I was just going to get into. It's kind of... So you're talking about my graphics card now, right? Yeah, okay. So I can tell you know what the fuck you're talking about, because that's what I was literally going to get into that. So later on down the road, I found out that that graphics card is a good graphics card, but it's not big enough or whatever to do what I'm trying to do. So here's the Yeti that I use, which isn't really...
Did you say you're uploading to YouTube also?
Yeah, I'm streaming right now from, like, you know, Twitch, YouTube, and also Facebook.
YouTube, you upload the videos to it, right?
Well, I'm also streaming to it. Like,
oh, is it real time too? Okay.
Yeah, like that. Normal people, most people like stream from like Twitch and then upload videos to YouTube.
Right. At a later time, right.
Yeah. What I'm trying to do, though, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm trying to get a certain amount of hours watched on YouTube and things like that, and this is going to help me do that. Once I get to that, I might not stream from 3 different platforms, but there are people that watch me from YouTube that would not have watched me had I not streamed from YouTube. Right. Some people don't like Twitch.
Right. I just know the video going to YouTube can be a huge draw. So that could be something I was saying, you know, if you just did it too, that would, and then upload to YouTube later. But if you're live streaming, then yeah, that's...
Yeah, and then that's exactly it, Demise. So the OBS, the capture card that I'm using, so I'll get to that. So I'm using a capture card. Doesn't... Okay, so what you're saying is the capture card that I'm using, the HD60S, I should be using a NVIDIA card instead of a HD60S. But anyway, I'm going to get into that here now. So then I'm using... It's not so important, I guess, to show you the triple monitor screen that I got. Oh. So you're talking about the graphics card in particular.
Everything's hardwired for the network and stuff, or do you go through a wireless or anything?
I'm hardwired in, and I got really good internet.
Okay, perfect. Sometimes people have like one access point where the room they're on wireless, and with 3 platforms, that's a huge load. That'd be a bottleneck right there. But if you're hardwired, you should be good. Just make sure you don't have any like old style switch gear in there or anything like that. Make sure it's all the newer. Was it 5 gig now? Switches and all that.
Yes. So let's see here.
Oh, he says you do have an NVIDIA GPU then. Oh, good.
HD 60S. So this is the graphics card that I'm using, the HD60S. And allegedly, just kind of going with what you're saying too, this is not very compatible with the graphics card that I'm using. So basically everything that I have is good, but some of it's not compatible. Like that capture card in particular doesn't work very well with Streamlabs, I think it is, OBS. It's not very, or my graphics card. So that capture card in particular needs a 10,000 or higher. So you just posted the 5700 XT. I would need something 1,000 or higher. So what is a NVIDIA GPU? What is that? I'm going to Google it.
Has the graphics cards?
If it's a graphics card, it's probably going to cost between $1,000 and $2,000. Because they're not cheap nowadays.
Well, he's doing the last generation. The 2070 is the last generation, so they're probably. I mean, look up Amazon RTX 2070. It's probably not that bad right now.
I hear a lot of people are. I hear a lot of people are using graphics cards to farm.
To actually stream. Well, yeah, they do the
cryptocurrency.
Right. Especially the 30 series. They're using those a lot. That's why it's so hard to get the 30 series right now.
Look at all these. The cheapest one here is $479. They go all the way up to $12,000.
Those are, some people just put some outrageous prices. But the 2070, look for one that's a 2070.
You want me to look for what?
The NVIDIA 20, there's a 2060.
2060?
Yeah, so that's kind of the price I was expecting to see him in, more of the 400 to 600 range. 2070 will be just a little bit, is the next same series. Just
so RTX 2060 graphics card?
2070. So RTX 2070. Yeah, probably you want to see the NVIDIA ones. I've been hearing some people are using they got the 30 series, the 3080s, and stuff like that. They're actually, it's powerful enough to do your whole streaming operation through and not even go through your GPU. I know nothing about that, but that's just what some of the streamers are saying they're doing with those. But those are real pricey GPUs. So the 2070s were top dog right before this last generation just came out in November of, so they just came out, and those are they're hard to get right now too.
So this GeForce RTX 2070 Super, or just the 2070?
I'm not sure. He probably knows a lot more than I do. D knows a lot more than I do on which ones you really need. Super or better, so he's looking to get top of line for the last generation, and the prices should have dropped a lot on those things.
Well, the guy that helped me build this, like, he had some knowledge in it, but he wasn't like an expert. So I think he did a good job with the information he had. You know, he tried, but I just think that, you know, a lot of this stuff, like, you know, had I have known all this stuff, I would have ordered a little bit differently. Probably had a little bit less issues.
A lot of people really like the AMD stuff, and it is really good. Is for the cost, price is usually really good, but there's a lot of conflicts with stuff. When you're trying to do a lot of different things than more than a standard. If you're just doing a standard computer software, just office type work, AMDs are great for the price. They're real powerful. But when you're starting to integrate with a lot of things, their software and the drivers just kind of there's always some little things you got to work around. Is what I've seen.
So you guys thinking that this right here would be good for me then? The GeForce RTX 2070, or go with the super one? I don't know. I think I don't really like money isn't really an issue. I don't really want to just blow money to, but at the same time, you know what I mean? I don't want to like cut corners and fucking, you know what I mean? So I want to get the job done, and if I have to pay for it, I will, but you know what I mean? So it's
Right. Look like D's trying to look at your money there too. So 2070 is a good card, and it's probably real cheap now. The 3070, I think it is supposed to be around $800, but I think they're selling them for like 1,200 or more just because people are paying that right now. But they're supposed to be only like $800, something like that, for the 3070s. But price them right now.
$500. And I'd have to install this in my computer myself, wouldn't I?
Yeah, you would have to.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yep, here.
Okay. So basically, like I've built a few PCs. Like I could show you the one that I have, but I don't want to gloat because I'm proud of it. But yeah, I mean,
I don't mind, dude. I ain't a hater. Man. If you spend $50,000 on your computer, man, God
well,
bless
not
it.
that much. My wife would kill me, but I mean,
But I just want you to know, man. You can gloat if you want, man. It's not. I'm not a hater. You know what I mean? It's
2070 Super is what I would recommend as a baseline. Like, if you're gonna start somewhere with an NVIDIA card, start with a 2070 Super. And the reason why I would even say last gen right now is because it is exceedingly hard to get your hands on a 30 series card. Much less at, like if you pay $100 over retail, fine. But realistically, you're probably not even going to find that right now. You know what I mean? And that's due to supply and
crazy
demand.
right now.
Well, I mean, mining is part of it, yeah. But the majority of it comes down to they're having a hard time. What they did is, usually a company called TSMC is the people that makes the wafers and the chips for these graphics cards, right? Now, a lot of these newer cars out there that have, the in-dash GPS with the fancy screens and computerized systems in them, those take the same chips, a lot of the same chips. And there's been huge shortages. And what has happened is TSMC, or NVIDIA and AMD, I believe, both hired Samsung this time around to make a lot of their wafers for their, for their graphics cards and stuff. And Samsung couldn't keep up with the demand. And that was the biggest problem. So it set them back, which is why when the cards release, they're so fucking hard to find.
yeah.
Yep.
So what they've done is now TSMC is stepping back into the game, but there's still a shortage because of the fact that now you have a lot of the actual automakers that are my father-in-law, who has worked for Ford for I think 26, 27 years, he's not working right now because they had to shut down his plant because they don't have the parts for the computer systems in the cars.
Wow.
So that said, that's why I said you may have to wait a few months for supply and demand to catch back up with the economy and what's able to be found in the stores. Like, you're not going to be able to walk into Best Buy and find one of the new cars sitting on a shelf. You probably won't even find a 20 series like that right now, realistically.
Right. Yep. And this is actually it's exactly what I've been hearing, from like before we talked about this, like, graphics cards are hard to find, this and that, whatever.
It's tough, yeah.
Way overpriced.
You do have alternatives. Like, I lucked out. I had the opportunity. I've had 2 of the 30 series cards come through my hands. I kept the second one. I had the option to get a third that was much higher. It was a 3080. But like I had said, I play in 1080p by choice. it would have been overkill, right? So I let that one go. Somebody else that'll actually use it and take advantage of it, whatever.
Yeah.
But I got lucky, and I got the one that I have now. I got it off of Facebook Marketplace. It is a viable place if you know what you're looking at. Now this one, we have a place. I don't know if you ever heard of Micro Center, but it's you're around my age, so I know you remember Circuit City. You know how like
Oh,
they
yeah.
didn't really have a website, but you'd
Right.
always have to stand in line and wait for the doors to open to get the newest shit. You know what I mean? So that's Micro Center in a nutshell, right? So like you can't order shit online there. You just got to go to the store and be lucky. Now the only one we have here in Michigan was out towards Detroit, which is about an hour and a half for me. The guy had done just that, put it on Facebook. I think I paid like 100 and some change over MSRP. Actually, yeah, it was about, I paid 800 for it. MSRP for the card is 650, yeah, tax and everything. So basically, I paid the guy to stand in line for me. You know what I mean? And I got the receipt. It was in the box, in the shrink wrap. Like it's basically like I bought it myself and paid him to do it. So that said, you can get down that way, but you have to know what you're looking at. You know, when you inquire about these things, you got a receipt, you got proof of purchase, yada yada yada. It's still in the shrink wrap. You know what I mean? And then you just got to know the prices, right? So like for you, if you can find a 3060 Ti or a 3070 for, let's say, you know, depending on the model of the card, anywhere is between 500 to, I mean, maybe even 800 if it's like a Strix card or one of the higher tier MSI cards. And it, you know, they give you the receipt or a copy of it. I'd say go for it, hands down.
And you're saying the reason why you're saying to get a receipt is because it could be stolen otherwise, right?
Well, that and there's the thing too. Like if say you have to RMA it, like something happens to the card, and you have to redeem that warranty. A lot of the companies, the manufacturers, I think the exception is EVGA and MSI, are the two that will actually RMA the card for you without a valid proof of purchase, as long as you have the matching serial numbers on the box that are on your card, right? So as long as your card and your box match, you know what I mean, and you can send pictures of that,
Yeah.
then they'll do it. But like Asus, Zotac, a couple of the other ones from the UK, I don't remember the names of the companies, iColorful or some shit like that, they don't do that. You will need a valid proof of purchase to RMA through them.
Right.
And actually, the NVIDIA branded cards themselves, those are called Founders cards. They actually require proof of purchase as well. So, you know, like if you go that route to where, you know, you're going to look at Facebook, you're going to look at eBay or something like that, I would advise that you look at EVGA or MSI cards. Other than that, I would say wait a few months. And I think the last report I saw for NVIDIA was saying that I think it was going to be Q3, if I recall correctly, because they were saying Q1 was going to remain lean on supply, and then they, you know, that Q2 it should pick back up, but recently they had, you know, rolled back on that whole thing and said it would probably be about Q3. So, you know, if it works right now, I'd say just leave it alone, wait a few months, wait it out. If you need to do it now, then I would say spend some time on I would say Facebook Marketplace over eBay. I mean, yeah, eBay does have, you know, that policy to where, you know, if you buy something and you so much as say it's not what you ordered, they'll give you your money back. Yeah, but
And what is it specifically that I'm looking for?
I would say like if you're gonna get a 30 series card, right? I would say a 3070, honestly. You could do it with a 3060 Ti, but you're gonna want an upper tier card. You're not gonna want a Founders card. You're not gonna want one of the bottom of the barrel cards, because like I don't know how tech savvy you are with these things or not, but with graphics cards, so like say you take the 3070, right? You have the Founders model, and then you have like umpteen different types of 3070s. And the difference in the variations of those cards are generally the out of box clock speeds on them, the 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 overhead on the overclocking and stuff like that. So it really depends on, do you want performance, do you want quality, or do you want something just to work? You know what I
Right.
mean? If you're gonna want something in the middle of the road and you're gonna go for a 3070, I would say probably
Yes.
get a Gaming X Trio, which is an MSI card, or I think there's the Zotac Hollow is what it's called. I guess that one's really good too. And then there's I think it's the Aorus Master, I think is what it's called. Those are like your high to mid, you know what I mean? It's like the high end of mid tier, basically.
Mhm.
And those are going to give you performance, quality, and they stay really cool as well, so that's going to help with performance anyways, but then they're just not going to be loud. Which that's a problem with some of the 37 or some of the 30 series cards, is they get really fucking loud when they get hot.
Yeah, like my computer is really freaking loud, man. Like I don't know if you guys can hear it and stuff when I'm streaming, but and I also got like it has fans that shoot straight down, and my freaking tower is sitting on the carpet, so it's like I gotta get it up off the carpet because what's the point of having fans shooting down?
You need to, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Get it off the ground, dude. I don't care if you got to put it on a shoebox, bro.
Okay,
A little bit helps it get the air so it doesn't insulate it. Plus the dust, lower it is the ground, the more dirt is going to be in your equipment.
Yeah, and not only that, but that's a damn good way to kill your power supply if your power supply is on the bottom
carpet.
of your
Oh,
case.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, carpet's great for static, developing static, all that.
Yeah.
So
okay, you know what? I'm gonna take a minute right now and do that. Just give me a second. I'm gonna prop it up on something. Give me a second.
I actually had a buddy that killed his power supply doing that. Well, that and leaving his PC on overnight for weeks on end.
right, yeah. Over time, people are constantly moving their computer around, sliding around, and slide around on carpet. That's not a good thing to do.
Hey, I have mine up on my desk, and I actually have they're like coasters. They're like rubber feet.
Yep. That's perfect.
Under the feet that are
Right.
already on my PC, to give it a little more room
Exactly.
for the air to sweep under it.
Yep.
King Jonah. Buddy of mine who is a smaller streamer started playing that Mortal Online 2 game.
Right.
It looks cool. It really does. Like it's got a kind of like an Ultima Online kind of feel to it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like a new improved Mortal Online or Ultima Online.
Right. Okay.
It looks cool. Like I'm kind of intrigued. I might check it out. It's a full loot game.
Okay.
But the hardest part about that though is he's an old school Darkfall player, so and a lot of his old, the people that he used to bump heads with on Darkfall are starting to get on that game, and they're, for lack of a better term, they're a bunch of shitheads, so
Right.
yeah.
You do not yet know fear. I shall make you.
So I'll shoot these messages in my build.
All right,
I will
I got it propped up.
tales are told.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a very common mistake. A lot of people don't think about it, and it can be very tough on your computer when you do stuff like that.
Yep, especially with because a lot of times the people power supply is right there on the bottom.
All right, all right.
What are you doing, cat?
So it's good that I at least thought about it, but it would have been better if I'd have did something about it, right?
Yeah, that generally helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not very tech savvy, but I'm learning as I go.
You know, like when I've had buddies tell me, you know, and I tell them, you know, build a PC and da 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 da, and they're like, "Well, I'm afraid I'm gonna break some shit." I'm like, "Look, man, these parts are made to be handled. A lot of them are made out of military grade parts, for that matter. You have to be being extremely complacent to mess something up. Got to think about it like Legos, just really expensive Legos."
Yeah. So I would say, I mean, I didn't link a lot of this stuff because I didn't think a lot of it was relevant. Like my, you know, my monitor, or my mount, my triple mount. You know what I mean? Whatever. I didn't think it was really relevant because, but yeah, so you kind of get an idea of what I got going on.
I just sent you some pics of my build. That's the one I just rebuilt. Well, I didn't. There is no rebuild. I built that one from the ground up and just sold my old one.
So that's what you game from right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and your tower's up on the freaking thing there. I like it. Oh yeah. So you can get by with the 2 monitors, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I could have 3 or 4 on here. I just don't have room for it. I don't really need it either. It would just be too much. I have thought about a 3rd monitor though, for sure. But again, I think it would just be too much.
Yeah, I did my whole setup with 2 monitors, and then I completely dismantled it and ordered another monitor and ordered another stand. And kind of funny because they're now saying that they didn't get the stand, so I'm gonna have to pay for that stand, even though I shipped it back. Whatever.
Like, and that's a problem too, is I've noticed that like it's hard to get stands or mounts rather that are quality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And
got
that
a
are
really
compatible.
nice. Yeah, I got a really nice triple monitor freaking mount. I'm really happy with it, to be honest with you. But I paid a lot of money for it, so it's you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. And well, I mean, you kind of have to with the monitor stands because you definitely get what you pay for, and that's, you know, that's the last thing you want, is to be sitting there chilling and gaming, and the next thing you know, your monitors come crashing down onto your desk, and it's like, oh crap, like.
All right, shouldn't have skimped on that. Yep. I mean, it's working for now, somewhat at least, I guess. You know, I mean, it seems like a decent. Does it seem like a decent, you know, quality or whatever when you're watching the stream? It.
I mean, it seems a bit pixelated, but a lot of that could also be because of the bitrate. And then it could also be just Twitch in general. Twitch hasn't exactly had the best track record of.
So you're saying that I could lower my bitrate, right?
Yeah, like if you lower it, it's probably going to lower the quality, but it's going to put less stress on your computer.
And where would I do that at?
It's in OBS. I don't remember where it's at. I think it's on your output settings, though.
Okay. I'm gonna actually look right now.
I give you one chance to surrender.
This is why I like grinding CP in this spot, because you can like mess around. Like, You work for a minute and a half, and then you dink around for 4.5 minutes while the freaking next one comes.
I am patience.
I sat here taking notes earlier when I woke up. How long it takes to do the domain, how long it takes for the next domain to come up. Kind of a nerd like that.
My bad, I had to step away for a second. Trying to figure out where I put my vape juice at. And the thing too with ESO on PC, as far as I can tell, this game doesn't really know what a graphics card is. He just logged in.
Alright, so let me try to. So you said it was an OBS.
I think it's in your output settings. Don't quote me though, like, because I don't really stream per se. I think the last time I streamed was 2 raid tiers ago on Final Fantasy 14, and that equates to like probably 2 years ago or better.
So I'm in the output section on Streamlabs, and see, I mean, I can just move it over here too. This is what I see here. Recording.
Yeah, there's your target bit rate, I believe, is what you would change. If you scroll down.
So try to go down a little bit with it.
Yeah, you could try going down and see if that. Like, I mean, are you feeling the stress on your PC? Like
I don't know.
If you're not really feeling any stress on your PC, then you can probably just leave it be.
It looks like I can't really do it while I'm streaming anyway.
No, it would kill your stream. You'd have to restart it.
So 3719 is what it's at. What it's at now. I can maybe try next time streaming a little bit lower and see if I have better results.
Yep, you could try that. Also. Another thing you could do as well, is I would say, I don't know if you know who Sage Toad is or Mighty Mumble.
I know who Sage Toad is. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, Mighty Mumble, like, I heard the name and shit, but...
Yeah, Sage, I want to say he's running on a 1060, which is less than what you have. But it's an NVIDIA card. So, again, with, the encoding with NVIDIA playing well with the streaming software. But he's also not streaming on multiple platforms either, right? So, but anyway, you could ask him, like what bit rate he was comfortable at and whatnot, just to maybe get a general idea.
Yeah.
And Sage is really cool. That's my guy. Like, him and Mighty are basically the reason I decided to start over on PC, to be honest.
Well, and then just to be honest with you, like a long time ago, like years ago, Sage Toad used to like literally sit there, and I mean, he seems different now. He seems like he's all positive and everything because he's streaming and stuff. But
He is.
Back in the
guy
day-
radiates positivity. It's kind of crazy.
But yeah, back in the day, he would literally sit there like for hours at our 1v1 tournaments just talking shit the whole time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
He'd be like, you guys suck, you guys are losers. It's like, dude, you've been sitting here watching us 1v1 for 4 to 5 hours straight. Like, I'm pretty sure at this point your opinion is like, I don't know. It's all good. It was just kind of weird when I seen him streaming, and I clicked on it, and he's like, positive vibes, everybody, and he's all trying to keep it positive. I'm like, what the fuck? Who's this guy? You know what I mean? Because I remember him just being like the most toxic fucking, you know. I even told him that back in the day. I said, dude, you're a good player, but it doesn't matter because you're a shitty person. You know what I mean? You become, you know.
I've had this conversation with I don't know if you know the guild Cougar Town. It's a DC guild on PS4.
Remember, it sounds familiar.
Cougar Lady runs it, or Cougar is Bay. I've known her husband for years. Back when I was DC, it was because of them. But I had this conversation with her, and she has recently started in PC. PC players, in general, have a lot more chill about them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, say, for instance, like, you know, if I go to randomly queue up for, you know, one of the higher tier vet dungeons on PS4, and I'm like 400 CP on one of my alt accounts, right? People are gonna scoff at you and talk shit and probably ultimately kick you.
Yep.
On PC, you gotta say, this is an alt, or I've never done this before, but I read a guide. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Not even joking.
I
have
noticed
done literally every vet dungeon in the game through just using the finder. I've had a lot more successes than I've had failures. And it just all around the PC community has a lot more chill.
Yeah, and I've been telling that to the guild for a long time, like on the PS4, and you know, obviously they don't like to hear it because they're on the PS. You know, what do they care? They're on the PS4 and shit. But it's such a huge difference. You know, you go from you go from like playing PS. Well, as soon as you come over here and you play here for even just like a month, and you go back and play on the PS4, you realize that you're now playing PS4 or you're playing ESO on hard mode on the PS4. You know what I mean? Well, and then on top of it, the gaming community itself is like a bunch of fucking toxic trolls that hate themselves and are just
are.
They're one fucking, you know.
Now there is toxicity on PC. Don't get me wrong, especially in PvP. However,
sounds like the EP players.
Well,
just kidding.
It pales in comparison compared to PS4.
Oh wow!
Right, like the amount of toxicity between the two platforms, especially in PvP. Like, I mean, you'll have some random person you have never seen in your life be part of a 20-man Zerg that happens to kill you, and they will teabag you and talk crap.
On the PS4 or the PC?
On the PS4, yeah, on the PS4. Yeah. Like it happens all the time.
Starting to see a little bit of that on PC now. I think a lot of players are coming over and they're bringing that type of attitude over.
But it won't last, though. That's just it. Like, because the reason why I say it's not going to last is because being a product of an environment, right? So these people are coming over from console, and they're going to start being part of a bigger environment that is not like that. Right, so eventually down the line, they're probably going to outgrow that habit, or at least I would hope so.
Yeah, and Sage Toad is kind of an example, or like honestly,
perfect example. Yep, perfect example. There you go. Yep.
Yeah, so it's
what, Allie? Okay, so what CP are you at right now?
On the PC, I'm at 128.
128. Are you sure you want Shackle and you don't want Spell Parasite?
I'm down for whatever, to be honest. I would have to. You made me Spell Parasite, so let me just double check and see what that does.
It gives you really good mag sustain, and it gives you a little bit more extra spell damage.
Yeah, and that like on the PC, people can use proc sets on the PC, or is this just not a
in PvP?
Yeah. So
No, if you're gonna use it in PvP, I don't think you can use Spell Parasite. You would
Right,
definitely
okay.
have to use Shackle.
So what I guess probably what I would like to do, and this is just my thinking, is do like for PvP do like and maybe I shouldn't even be thinking about PvP until I get higher CP, but
Honestly, no CP is very popular on PC. Yeah, actually,
Well-
oftentimes Fang Rush even goes into no CP.
when when these changes hit the PS4, I came out with my own build, and I ended up uploading. It's not the best YouTube video ever, but I'm gonna try to do more build videos and stuff. But I
You
used
do a light fortified.
No, I went like it was like Juliana's. I forget what the hell it is now, but what I like is like Mother Sorrow, Juliana's, and then so obviously that's all damage. And then what I do is on my head, on my shoulders, my head and my shoulders, I'll do like fortified or the critical repulsal, I think it's called, or something, on my head and shoulders and on my back bar. So that way, if I get into trouble, I switch to my back bar. It gives me enough sustain to survive, and then I switch to my front bar and fuck them down. You know.
For that matter, you could even do shooting on your shoulders.
Yeah. So, it's.
Yeah, no, I get that. No, totally. Like that. So let's see. I mean, Mother Sorrow, obviously, you can't craft.
Right.
Do
and
you
so
have?
what I was thinking
Do
is
you
when I
have
hit,
the map pins for treasure chests?
let's see here. If I go to my add-ons, map pins, I think
Should be one of the ones you downloaded from
map ping right here.
Matt Pins. Yeah.
You see it?
Oh, hold on.
No, it's not. It's not in your lib. It should be up. It shouldn't be in your libraries. Actually, just go back to your main screen and hit M, and pull up your map.
There it is. He's got it down there by
You got
Garkin. Matt Pins.
Okay.
It's
Yep.
covered up by the new sub 1080 right there.
Make sure you have treasure chests.
Where's your filter icon on the screen?
Yep. Yep.
There it is.
Because if you're gonna go farm in Deshaun for Mother Sorrow, you're gonna want that. Because what that's gonna do is it's gonna show you potential spawns for the treasure chest, and then once you pop a chest in the spot, it's gonna have a yellow floating icon on it that will always be there.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
We need to
I
go over
would've-
your add-ons again one of these days too, because we just got you some just to get you started. I don't think we
Right.
ever got them all.
Right. Yep. And I do know that there's like, I think it's Lucky
you have
Ghost.
Grayskull.
Hmm.
You're definitely gonna want Grayskull if you PvP, which I know you PvP. So
So okay. I do.
I think we got them combat metrics. I think we got that for him. We got a couple other things.
I would
Let me-
not use combat metrics while you're in PvP.
It's starting to cause some issues, some lag. I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing. So I actually turned it off for a little bit.
So if I
Um,
search, what did you say that you think I should use?
Grayskull.
Grayskull.
Yeah. All it is a tiny little window that shows you your spell or weapon damage. So basically, you have a counter on your screen that shows you when you're fully buffed, so you're not prematurely dropping an ult.
Right
You know what
here?
I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep, there it is right there. Yep, there you go. So you're not, dropping a half-ass ice comet, but instead you're dropping a fully buffed one. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. And then all I got to do now is reload my UI, and it'll be on my game, right?
Check it. Does it automatically enable it, Brew?
Yeah. Just reload it and it automatically pops up.
So
You're probably going to have to drag it out of your corner. It's going to be in your upper left-hand corner. I would drag it down by your skill bar or something somewhere.
All right.
Yeah, new minion is really nice.
So I am really happy with my add-ons and stuff, like the thing you guys were just talking about with the treasure chests. I mean, I have been noticing those already before we even talked about this. One thing that bothers the shit out of me is this right here. This thing just doesn't go away, and no matter how many times I like re-download
Which
this,
one?
This potion maker for alchemy crafting. It's like this red here.
It's because you have to you got to get the main menu 2.0 library.
You're right, but watch this. I've done this so many times and it doesn't go away. So, lib menu.
This is a 2.0, that red one.
Yeah,
There.
watch this.
Yeah.
Watch this. Ready? Lib menu 2.0, right? Right here. Here it is. Right
Go to your
here.
minion and hit reinstall. Right click it and say reinstall.
Yeah, and I've done this probably 5 times. You know, it's so frustrating. It makes me want to just delete
honestly,
it and start
Just
over.
delete it. Yeah.
Yeah,
just
sometimes
delete it.
just uninstall it and then reinstall it. But
I'll be honest, I don't even use that shit just because of all the years of making the same pots on PS4. I kind of have it memorized now, so.
Well, I like it just because when you walk up to a thing, it crafts it for you. You know.
Lazy Rip Crafter.
that's Lazy Crafter. Crafter does that.
Okay.
But
That is
the
single-handedly
Potion
the
Maker
best mod.
will show you kind of what makes what.
Mm-hmm.
So, which
So
I
you
still
think-
need after a 5-year break. I don't remember all my pots anymore. So
Well,
I mean, there is a cheat sheet that you can download from the Android store. that
Well,
shows-
that's
What
true.
I-
I probably
what
should just do that.
what I use
Yeah.
is I use this right here, which I'll put in the comments. This is
yeah,
so, this
you
is,
can use ESP. Yeah,
Yeah, this is
that's
so
where I do all my
easy.
builds at. That's where I do all my builds.
This is so easy because, like, let's say you're doing a sip of stamina. That just something simple. Sip of stamina. You just restore stamina. Go up here, find, and if it's something that simple, it's 2 ingredients, 1 effect. Now I got 13 different ways of making sip of stamina, so I can just use whichever one I have the most of. You know. So
Yeah.
I don't really need the potion maker then, right?
Right.
No.
So let's
You
get
don't.
rid of that potion maker. Let's get rid of that.
Are you wanting arcane on your shack? I'm only gonna be able to upgrade your jewelry to green just because I blow my platings on making writ vouchers. So
Well, here, and let me just see if I let me see if I got it. So you need what? You need blue, the stuff that make it blue.
it's the iridium plating.
And he's been doing his wrist daily. He's been real good
See,
on
these
that.
are-
So
Yeah, you see these? I got 73 of these things and 1 of those.
Jesus, dude.
I'm
So
gonna send you all this, okay? Just
no,
and
you
then-
don't have to send it all. Here's the thing: do you want me to make you a 120 kit for right now, or do you just want me to make you a 160?
160. Because I'll sit
So
here
just
and camp
send
this
me you
fucking-
that 10, 20, 60. I need 60 of them.
Well, I don't mind sending you extra for the trouble too.
I mean,
Um,
that's up to you. You will need them down the line when you do your jewelry crafting.
I do my
and
writs
shit.
on 12 freaking tunes though. You know what I mean? I really do. It's
I don't know how you people do that, man. You guys are machines.
Well,
I told him before he should do that with get his horses up and his materials up. And he does it all the time. I do mine maybe once, twice a week. I see him all every day going boom, boom. He's
mean-
in and out. I'm going, holy crap!
I
These
have a
guys
hard
gonna have all
enough
kinds
time
of shit.
doing writs on the 3 that I have on PC, man.
I'm
Yeah.
just bad. I do it.
Some days, now I'm gonna tell you something. You're gonna judge me for this, and that's okay. But some days I'll do my writs on all 3 of my accounts on the PS4 and my PC account.
Oh, damn.
So that's 12
See-
characters on the PC, 12 characters on the PS4, another 8, and I think another 9.
That's like half your day right there, man.
it really
Yeah,
really
takes a long
is. It
time.
really is. But it's like I'll just whatever. I'll wait. I'll
It
wait
pays
till-
though.
Oh, yeah,
It
look,
does,
his first
yeah.
tune 160.
Ugh.
He's got tons of jewel crafting
Yeah.
materials that no one has.
So and I know
But, yeah.
one of my favorite streamers. He never does his writs, and I understand it. There's not enough time in a day and stuff. But for me, like coming to the PC and having absolutely nothing. I mean, I got plenty of support though. I mean, I couldn't ask for more support. I mean, I had one person send me 1 million gold, another person sent me 500,000 gold. I mean, there's a lot. Like both of you guys have helped me out. It's what I mean. So I can't say I did it all on my own. But
You made sure you put those other sets away that I made you, right?
Yeah, but I do the writs because of that. Because it's like,
Oh, see, Cougar, my friend Cougar lady I was telling you about, she's the same way. She is the exact, and actually, she owns my PS4 account. So if you see Demise and Cyrodiil on a yellow, and they're giving you shit, that's not me. It's her or her husband. So,
it's all good. You sold her your account?
yeah, like, I mean, because I was done.
Right.
Like
I hear
I'm not. And like I said, like I've known her for years. I've known her since Orsinium came out. That's how long I've known her. Her and her husband.
All right, so I'm gonna send you this blue stuff here.
So I figure, you know, like they're still playing over on PS4. I'm just done with it. It, you know, rather than just let it sit, they made me a healthy offer and I took it and ran away with it. So, because her original account actually got banned back in the Thieves Guild days, because one of the people on her raid team was doing some questionable shit in Maw of Lorcage, and the whole team paid for it.
Wow.
All 12 people paid for it.
That sucks.
Yep.
Jeez.
It was one of the runners that, you know, how the runner goes in the backyard on Rakat.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So she had no way of knowing. She's a healer. She's not running.
Right.
She had no way of knowing what they were doing back there.
Wow.
Yep.
Damn.
That sucks.
Yeah. Guilty by association, I guess. But they, I mean, they cracked down on a lot of people for that, though. I think that was one of the bigger ban waves I'd ever seen.
What did they get banned for again? What were they doing?
They were exploiting the boss fight. Something they were doing in the backyard or whatever it was called in Maw of Lorcage on the last boss. Somehow glitching, and then it did something to the boss or something. I'm not.
I
sure
got you. So that shit's frowned upon. I've seen people do that
Yeah.
stuff before. Where like stand right here and the boss gets stuck, and then you can just melt him down.
Yeah, something along those lines, and everybody paid for it. Well, everybody that was in that group at that time. I'm assuming you want arcane on these, right?
Yeah, whatever you think. I mean, I feel like that's good for to keep my shield strong. You know.
Well, yeah, max mag is always that's. I mean, and like I was talking to Akinos, who's also a blue. He was telling me right now the most optimal setup that he and some of the other higher tier sorks in PvP have found is actually running a 3-piece Grace.
Yep.
2-piece Trainee.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alfiq.
Right. Gotcha.
And then just running, you know, obviously Recov food, whatever Mundus you want. But the problem with the Grace of the Ancients is sometimes they're kind of hard to find the specific pieces, and then the Trainee staffs, when you find them, it could be pocket change, it could be a couple $100K. You never know.
Yeah, the Ancient Grace, I got those rings right from the merchant in Cyrodiil.
Yeah.
But they weren't gold, of course. But on the PS4, they were selling them they were probably the same in golden. But so I mean, I'm good on the PS4 when it comes to that stuff. But on the PC, you know, I'm starting all over. I don't even have a tune that's 160 to get that kind of shit yet. So I'll get there eventually.
You'll get there. Well, yeah, because that's why I'm sitting here like, you know, do you really want to fuss with making the jewelry and stuff, or do you just, you know, like, do you want the shackle breaker in the jewelry, or do you want that on the body? And do you want the chest piece heavy?
I would say the chest piece heavy, yeah. I don't know. I don't know why, but I like to make my chest heavy and my legs medium and the rest light.
I'm the same way, and that's also because you get the bigger armor bonus out of the bigger pieces.
And I don't know why I like it that way. I still don't have a single tune on any of my accounts that have all the Undonids unlocked, so I don't know why I do that, but I like it. I don't know. Because I'm gonna do things different on the PC though. I'm gonna try my hardest to unlock the Undonid. I still don't have a single tune that's got Meteor unlocked. I'm gonna try to make sure I unlock.
I'll be
Meteor.
honest. I've done shit on PC already that I never did on PS4.
Yeah, I'm gonna do things a little differently. Like on the PS4, I was focused on building a gaming Yeah, I've been building this. I've been building Punish and Protect since 2013. So it's all I really cared about, and that's why I didn't. That's why I didn't get along with a lot of people like Sage Toad and stuff. Is because they're out there trying to 1vx, and I literally came to ESO to build a gaming community. So that's why I zerg. That's why, you know what I mean. It's, and somebody that 1vx's, I didn't really care what they thought. Well, I mean, I get the way they play the game, but then, you know, a guy like me watched Sage Toad a couple of weeks ago because I was watching his stream a little bit. And I was watching him try to get amp, and he ended up ultimately getting it, but. You know, you sit there and 1vx for years, and then when it comes time to get you amp, you start realizing that it takes a team to do that. You know what I mean? So it's same with like King of Games. You know, the King of Games is like, oh, I just interviewed a Zergling, and he watched this video, and somebody sent me the link to it. I'm like watching this, and it's like, he's like, well, I just want to get the mentality of a Zergling. You know, like I don't understand it. Blah blah blah. Okay, well, try to get amp once. Try to 1vx your way to amp once. Try to 1vx your way to. Like,
I mean.
you know,
I got Imp and Grey Host, and I was a 1vxer, but here's the thing, right? I ran with a group of 1vxer.
Right.
You know,
So
there was like 8 to 10 of us in the group. You know,
the point really
But
kind of is
when
is
the
that
call
it takes
was
a
made,
team, you know, it's
we made the call for for the Queen helped, but they also helped because they had respect for them, right? Yeah, we were 1vxers. But when it came time to help, they knew, and they did many times, even Carnage, you know, they would ask us, hey, can you guys give us a hand over here? Sure, whatever. Well, you know, we'd come down from fucking Bruma or wherever we were messing around at and help them out.
So now, and if you think about that concept for a second, a lot of these people that you're naming will sit there and call me a Zergling, but it's okay for them to do it. You see what I mean? So it's, as long as it's in their agenda. And you know, I'm not trying to like, you know, be toxic or anything like that, but I truly don't believe that people look at it for what it really actually is. They're too busy pointing their fingers, you know, until they want to get imp, until their buddy's trying to get imp. Now they're Zerging, but last week they were calling me a Zergling. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, whatever.
I think Zergling is a loose term.
It is. I mean, Zergs used to be groups of about 40, 50 guys. That was a Zerg.
Yeah.
You know, 8 to 10, that's a group. That's a team, a group environment.
Right.
That's what this game is. PvP is a group environment. It's not a one person team thing.
For instance, like if I'm by myself, I don't know, for lack of a better thought, I'm messing around in frickin' Crackwood Cave for whatever reason, right? And you come in there with 4 people. It's all in the eye of the beholder. I just got zerged down. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It could be 4 people. It could be 14 people. It's all in the eye of the beholder, man.
Right, and you'll see people that run around with like, well, I only small scale, you know, only 4 to 6 people, you know, that's all I do. And then you'll watch them, and like when they come across one person, they're 4v6 v1ing that person, which is no different for me to 16 v4 them than it is for them to 4v1 that. You know what I mean? So it just,
also,
I think it just kind of comes down to too many. You know, people just need something to talk about, complain about. You know what I mean? Like just play your game, and you know, if you don't want to be zerged down, go play Street Fighter or fucking.
But when you're
only people, I would go out of my way, and bring my little group of, you know, Xers or whatever, to go after. And forgive me when I say this, is Madden, because we loved pissing Madden off. Loved it.
Madden actually
absolutely loved it.
I've never.
One thing also, when you're in the instance down there and stuff, put on your battleground gear, put on your proc sets. It works there. When those guys come in there, you waste them.
And where?
When you're in the instances in Cyrodiil.
Yeah, when you go
in the Dells, your proc sets will work there.
Holy shit!
Yep.
Most people don't know that. You go down there and they come after you with their Cyrodiil gear, and you just stop them.
Get wardrobe. Make sure you have wardrobe for that reason, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so wardrobe. I heard about this. I'm gonna get it right now.
Oh, you didn't get that already? Oh yeah, that's definitely a have to have.
That's a must-have.
When it comes, just to kind of talk about what you're like when it comes.
I
to
usually use dressing room, but
for the record, I never ran with Madden ever because I was always my own crown. All I heard was stories about him, but recently there was a YouTube video put out. Somebody like exposed him for being racist in a group, and
I've heard.
Yeah, and then he joined my guild. He requested to join my guild right after, like, you know, like, I don't know, for a lack of better understanding, like to take refuge or something. Like, oh, now everybody's coming down, and I'm gonna go join Punish and Protect Guild. Well, then I come across this YouTube video, and I showed it to the officer that accepted his application, and she kicked him right away. So, you know what I mean? It's,
Well played.
yeah. I'm like, here's the video of the person that, you know.
You want sharpened or precise on your
sharpened.
staves? Sharpened? Okay.
On the front bar, I like lightning, and on the back bar, I like ice.
You want ice? Oh, fuck, I don't think I have ice. I don't.
I'll just.
That is the one staff I don't have researched.
But if it's not
That's
too
one
much
piece
trouble,
I can jump on. I can make it too. So
if it's not too much trouble, then I would like maybe a resto and a fire.
I could do. So you want a resto and a fire instead of lightning
I'll go lightning on the front, and then like you said, when I'm running through dungeons, I'll use that resto running through dungeons. But then I'll go.
Oh yeah, fair.
I'll go lightning and fire on the back unless he can make me the ice. I really like ice on the back because it gives me extra, you know, survivability. All my shields, both my damage shields are on my back bar, so I like to have that ice staff on the back bar.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Yeah, if you can whip him up that ice staff, I'll get the resto. I can do resto, Inferno, and lightning.
Tell me what you guys need for mats too. I guarantee I got them. I've been doing my writs every fucking day for.
The jewelry mats are plenty. I don't need anything else.
So then, so for wood,
I should be fine on that. What are you making? Am I making a Julianos or am I making Shacklebreaker? Okay.
Not gonna be able to gold it out though, because I just dumped shop on my fucking sword. So.
Yeah, if you want gold it out, I'll need some gold mats, but
yeah.
I don't want to make myself gold. I'm almost out of them.
Oh, did I get a Spriggan's lightning staff from? Oh. Sharpened too at that. I might put that away. I might find a use for it someday.
Oh yeah. A lot of my tunes I'm wearing Spriggans on or spinners and depends on what it is.
I mean, realistically, with the way CP is now, you could almost get away with running spinners and Spriggans and going hybrid on something like, I don't know, Warden. It would probably be disgusting.
I have a Magblade. I put like 10 points in on stamina, and then I his passives I got the stamina maxed out on too. So that way I was getting to execute. So I carry a two-hander anyway for the spell power or for the magic and spell power. So the two-handers are great for that. If you don't need the staff abilities, the two-hander sword is great. And then but I also gave him enough stam so that his execute hits pretty hard with the 40% boost. So now I got execute for my Magblade. So without gipping him too much.
I got
Champ rank 129.
Nice.
Mighty Mumble actually has a disgusting.
Oh yeah, he's got pure. He's definitely got a full on.
Have you seen his DK? His hybrid DK?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
I had one way back in the day like that, way back before it was popular. But mine had like 10 health, 10, 20 health on it too. I kind of had almost like 3 ways almost. But he had good health, he had good stamina and good magicka. And we didn't have the set they have nowadays, where you could do where they have the both magicka and stamina region. And that's where it's really good, nice nowadays. It's like, but you got that now. Everything's going where it makes it better for hybrid.
I couldn't believe that. He sent me the screenshot of his freaking
Well, in Cyrodiil, he kills the shit out of things in Imperial City, all that. He's just stopping things.
Not even kidding, Punish. Imagine a Mag DK / Stam DK abomination that's 5k or better weapon and spell damage simultaneously with quad digit recoveries in all 3 slots. A Mag DK that is fossilizing you and whipping you while spamming Vigor. disgusting. Like this thing is disgusting, dude.
Well,
I watched him. I
remember
watched him a
being
few times play. He's good with that thing too.
Yeah, he is.
Does he
Kinda like-
stream?
Kind of like
Yeah.
what's his
Yes, he
name? The
does.
chicken with the Nightblade. Have
Yeah.
you seen what's his name? Something chicken.
I know. I think I know who you're talking about.
But he's more. I mean, Mumble's more straight up. He just goes right after guys. Chicken just stays invisible and just comes out, looks for the low level or low health person, just goes up, whacks in one shot, and runs off.
Yeah.
But
You want
Mumble is just
Recov?
badass.
Do you want recovery on the jewelry on all three pieces, or do you want spell damage or a mixture?
I think what I usually do is go spell damage on the rings and recovery on the.
On the neck.
But why don't you just go all spell damage? Fuck it.
Or you just go infused. Did you go well infuses? Yeah.
That's the Orbrick Amber. I don't have any.
Yeah,
of those.
I
Literally
don't
Yeah,
either.
used
you went
my last
arcane, which
one.
I think I like that. And as far as recovery, I use Dark Deal. If I need to get some magic back, I'll heavy attack and Dark Deal, and I'll have more damage to make up for it. I think that'd be in the future. If I have to switch out the necklace for one magic recovery, I can always do that.
So how close were you with any of the shield wall guys?
Shield Wall? They reached out to me to try to like ally up with me, and I told them, well, this never really works, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Whatever. I'm fine with it. Whatever. And they're like, okay, well, maybe this weekend. There was some female that was in charge of it, some girl that I had blocked, and I had to unblock just to have a sit down with her. And then what happened was the weekend came, and they never reached out to me or nothing. And then next thing you know, like Sunday came, and she came in just talking a bunch of shit to me, like, "Oh, you fucking liar!" And it's like, well, I mean, like I literally told her flat out, "This is my home campaign. If you want me to go to another campaign, it might happen, but it probably ain't gonna happen. But yeah, if you want to reach out, we can try to figure something out." But you know what I mean? There was no communication there. It's all good. I think the fucking
I'd say, like one of my
not very close. How
last
about that?
clips that I did was with it has them in it, and it's not in their favor.
Yeah, I tried to work. I tried to work with them.
Well, one of my last clips on PS4.
Yeah. I don't know. When it comes to being allies with people, it works, but for a short period of time, because it's one of the things where, when I first started playing ESO, I was a 1DX. First I sucked at the game, but as I got better, that's all I did. It wasn't until later on when I got a guild that I became, like a Zerg Lord, people call me or whatever. But
Fair warning: when you watch that video, that clip I just linked you, turn it down. For whatever reason, when I encoded it over to YouTube, it didn't adjust the sound settings, so it's like super loud.
But yeah, it's throughout the years, I've allied with a lot of guilds and stuff, and it always just usually doesn't work out very well.
I'll send this to YouTube, Rootman.
So what do you want? This ice staff? You want an ice shackle breaker, ice staff? Any style? Oh, that's right. You like the DC, huh?
You know what? I still don't have Daggerfall staves yet.
I've got that. And then what did you want on it? Not sharpened. You want something else, right? Did you want the
on the ice staff?
Yeah.
What I usually like to do, and this is kind of crazy, I either go defending or I'll go infused with a shield glyph. So that way, when I heavy attack with an ice staff, it's going to give me a shield.
It's
with
going
the
to
ice.
talk you an over shield.
Yeah, so it's going to give me a shield just because it's an ice staff. Plus the glyph gives me a shield. Plus I have 2 damage shields. You know what I mean? So it's 4 different shields.
Right.
I really like.
So what do you want? So what do you want in this one then?
Fuck. I'll go, infused.
Okay. I was guessing that's what you were gonna pick because I had this in there.
Yeah, it's.
Whoa, Julian.
I like it because if you picture yourself like standing on like on a back flag, you know, you can, and you're running out of resources. You used all your resources just to get to the back flag. Now you heavy attack, you get those 2 shields. Then you can pop a shield because the magic you got from the heavy attack. Do it again, and you can shield your way back into recovery or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I used to do it with a tank. Have a ice staff on the back bar, and use that for the shielding and some other things too.
Are you
Slow
wanting
him down.
pen on your body armor?
Yeah. Well, like what the gear that I'm making for myself right now on the PS4, I went like a heavy chest, reinforced, and then everything else in pen. I don't know whatever your thoughts are on it, but all in pen would be fine.
I think Impen is probably the better play right now. If nothing else, maybe do 1 or 2 pieces of well fitted. And the reason being is there's such a minimal return and so much investment needed to actually get the crit out of the new champion point trees.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it. Oh, actually, no. You can get to it quite quickly, but you need to have a larger CP pool to actually take advantage of it. Whereas, like, you remember the old way on the CP tree, like it was right there. You know what I mean? And now it's kind of a pain, honestly. I'll do it all in pen for you. Just me personally, I like well fitted 1 or 2 pieces of it because I like to roll around a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
As soon as I fucking hear a Nightblade, roll.
Does that look right? I just sent you a link.
Infused, ice staff, shacklebreaker. So yeah, we're going Julianus and shacklebreaker. Is that what we decided?
Yep.
Yep, sounds good to me.
So I'm making this one in Shacklebreaker ice staff, right? Do I need to make anything else?
If you want to make his medium legs or heavy or what was I thinking? Hold on.
Yeah.
Can you? Yeah, medium legs of Julianos. If you could do that.
Okay.
So I don't have to switch characters.
Yeah, I can do it. Just upgrade this one real quick. Want these upgraded to gold?
Let me see what mats I got. I probably got enough. Let's see here. Clothing. I only got 8 Druax, but I got a lot of rough stuff that needs to be broke down. I just never broke it down because I wanted to wait until I had the skill points to do it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make it, and then just send me stuff later.
Okay, I'll send you.
It's
8,
just a,
I'll send you 8 wax now, and then I'll send you the rest later. So it'd be 7 times 8 would be 56, right? So 48 wax. I owe you 48 wax after I send you these 8.
think that much? I don't think. I'm just doing one, right?
He's just doing one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just doing one.
So
So
yeah, I'll send you the 8.
I honestly would not. I wouldn't bother golding it right now.
Yeah,
Because-
purple is fine because as long as the weapons are gold, right? And then
Right,
as
well,
far as the
there's
weapons,
a rumor going that the proc sets are probably going to be back around June or July.
Yep.
So that's why I wouldn't invest.
Why
into that
don't you
right
guys
now.
just make everything all purple? Because I'm not before too long. My crafter here will be able to upgrade those to gold myself. You know what I mean?
that's true. If you drop 4 things, as long as you got the high level, you can upgrade just as easy as we can. Yeah.
And I'm gonna be there. Seriously, I'm gonna be there like really soon. So,
Oh,
Right.
it'll happen
Well-
quickly.
Oh yeah.
But like,
somebody just invited me to a group that's in Somerset. The fuck?
I'm still doing like honestly, I've been doing my vet dungeons wearing purple gear. Like I'm not I'm not golding anything out right now. Not until I get back into PvP. And I mean, Mighty and Sage have both been like, "Oh, you're overthinking it." And I told them both, I'm not going back into PvP till I have 1,000 champion points.
So I've been healing vet hard mode, not necessarily the hardest, some of the real hard dungeons, but just vet hard mode is just randoms and daily pledges on my Magden with just what I've been using. I've been using winners and vigor. So that I've been healing, and most of my gear is just blue or purple the most.
When there's respite is so OP.
I love it. I love it. And
It's
people
so
talk
good.
down on that. Says like, dude, it's one of the best AOE sets around. A huge AOE that thing has. A big heal.
People could say what they want. Put that shit on a low CP tune and go into VMA.
Oh my
and
God.
Watch it carry you.
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's like, oh my God. People keep on. They laugh at me when I go on. That's what I'm wearing. And the Eternal Vigor, yeah, I can see people laughing at that. There's better regen sets than that, but it's like, yeah, that's just why I have my PvP. It's a PvP healer. Do you want me to heal for you in the battlegrounds? Okay, or in a dungeon, it's fine. And we've been doing it, and they keep pulling me in for stuff. But dude, I'm PvP. I don't PvE like this.
What are we doing for your 2-piece?
I like this critical repulsal.
Okay.
Because if I do,
Oh yeah, with the armor on it. Yeah. Right.
well, if I do my head, shoulders, and then back, well, no, because he just made the shackle back bar. Well, I don't know. It doesn't really matter, I guess. Well, yeah, it's because I'm gonna get a monster set down pretty soon here anyway, right? I would just do me a head and shoulders critical repulsal just so I get that crit resistance. But if I'm gonna, I don't know, man. What about just like? Just trying to think because that's not going to be viable in PvE critical resistance. I'm going to probably be doing more PvE than anything until I get better shit. So what about just?
You want my honest opinion?
Huh?
I would do something that gives you either max mag or mag recov.
Yeah. Okay.
That's just
right here.
Yeah,
There's Gravestake Collector robe. Gravestake Collector. Whoops. It's There's a set out there called Gravestake Collector that gives you max mag.
Yeah.
It gives you max mag.
Twilight's does too.
Yeah. So whichever there. All right.
What am I doing for the Julianus legs?
Impen.
Impen. Yeah.
I mean, are they heavy, medium?
Medium.
Medium. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of my Stamsork. Fucking my bow, if I should go powered or defending. Probably powered.
Apparently I don't have Impen for shoulders on light. Well, you're gonna get infused. Which isn't terrible, honestly.
We're gonna go powered.
Okay, so I'm making Julianus legs, medium, impenetrable, 160s, right? And DC style. That sound correct?
Julianus, medium, impen, legs. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yep. Good. Okay.
You want mag on everything?
Yep.
On your glyphs? Okay.
Yeah. Shields are strong.
Damn, I've almost blown through a stack of Makos these past few days. What the hell?
Yeah, because you're crafting all these that gear.
Well, because I made a couple other tunes, so I made them gear preemptively and just put them in one of the fortified coffers, inside my house.
Right.
So then that way, they just pop in there, grab what they need, and then swap it out when they're done.
Wengan and Kotawa, all will see.
Aha! I knew I forgot to craft a piece. I actually lucked out today, and I ran my random daily. I got Castle Thorn. I walked out of there with the 2 pieces that I needed. Because, Crimson
Nice.
is not... You can't use it now, but while all these proc sets are disabled, and this is another tidbit for you too, Punish. While proc sets are disabled, a lot of them that you can actually trade, that you find on traders, are dirt cheap right now. I would advise that you buy them now while proc sets are disabled, while they're cheap, versus waiting until they re-enable proc sets and then the prices skyrocket again. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, makes sense.
But anyway, I got the Crimson Inferno staff and the one-handed to go with my shield, my sword and board back bar on my mag DK. I'm gonna run Crimson and Burning Spell Weave on my mag DK when they re-able proc sets, which might be actually kind of disgusting. And then I've already farmed up my and I know you'll remember this build, Punish, because it's an OG build. But I've already got my Durox Bane and my Fasalis Guile for the Defile Mag DK. It's one of those builds that you're like, I said no healing. I said you're not allowed to heal.
I built one of those back in the day.
Oh, they're so fun though, dude. Because as soon as somebody realizes what is happening, they run because they can't heal. They just literally like they're just pumping vigor and they're like, why am I not healing? Like, yeah, I mean, have fun with that, buddy. And then like, you know, that's a good setup too for group play, right? When you run into it, for instance, like a ball group, right? If you got a mag DK with you that's got shifting standard and they know how to play their class, let them buff up and run right down the middle of that ball group and drop that shifting standard all over them. And it will defile the shit out of all of them.
You know what's crazy?
The healers won't be able to keep up.
You know what's crazy, and I know it's because I'm not a max level woodworker yet, but I don't have a single piece of ruby ash. Like, how is that possible?
Because you haven't been deconning anything CP 160 yet.
But I mean, even picking it up or doing my writs or anything, it's insane.
Are your crafters maxed?
No, not yet. I mean, I know that's why. 'Cause, like, until it gets to 50 and I have enough skill points to put into it. That's why I was telling you earlier I need to farm skill points. Because this is my crafter. This Sork is going to be my main crafter, my main tune. I'm going to need so many skill points to do everything I need to do. And that's going to be one of the reasons why right there. So it's, I mean, I understand why I don't have any, but to not have one single ruby ash.
One singular piece of it.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I find it hard to believe. Like, I didn't pick one up in the world anywhere. I didn't get anything at all, ever. Like, hirelings, nothing. You know what I mean? Like, you got to remember, not only do I do my writs on 12 tunes, but I put points into crafting on all those, and I get hirelings on all those, and I get, you know what I mean? It's just insane. I find it hard to believe, that's all. I feel like there's a mistake somewhere.
I mean, honestly, you don't really stop and think about that type of stuff until you're in the type of situation you're in where you're just starting fresh on PC, because it's been a long time since you've experienced anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yep. Because I'm looking through it and trying to figure out, what up, Pharaoh Claus? Bitrate def looks better. Oh, awesome. I don't know how long ago you typed that, dude. How you doing, man? Yeah, it's...
I sent that stuff to you.
So if you wanna go back to the subject Zergling, let me tell you a story to where argumentatively I might be considered the biggest Zergling ever. A long time ago, when DC used to own, I think it was Skull of Corruption, I think it was, and then next thing you know,
oh my God, Skull, those were the days.
Yeah, there were some DC players, I think, allegedly, that went online and started talking a bunch of shit to the Reds and the Yellows about how we're, you know, DC's this, DC's that, and there's nobody can do anything, and da-da-da. And the Reds and the Yellows decided to team up, and they gated us. From that day forward, they came in and they kept us gated for like months. And
I remember that because I was EP back then.
Every single DC guild pulled out, except for mine. I stayed, and my guild wasn't very big back
And
then, but I didn't.
I mean, I remember you guys even being pushed back to your spawns in
Yep.
fucking Imperial City back then.
Yeah, so what happened was eventually DC got sick of it, and they said, well, we're going to have to form an alliance. We're going to have a sit down with all the major guilds, and we did. And what we decided was we need to have one person in charge of all the guilds all the time, every day. And it's, for the first 2 weeks, we have one person do it, and for the next 2 weeks we'll have another person do it. Well, they picked me to be in charge of all the guilds. And from that day forward, we had AD and EP gated for the 2 weeks that I was in charge, and everybody was like, "Yeah, man, that worked really well. Let's put him in charge again." For the next 2 weeks, AD and EP were, and I'm talking like if they tried to take Cropsford, I sent a massive Zerg after them. You know what I mean? It didn't matter because I had every guild underneath my control or whatever, which is efficient because otherwise you have 50 people show up to a fucking outpost that's flagged. When instead, people would like you would log. Let's say you're running a Zerg, Demise logs on. His job was to tell me how many people he's got. Hey, I just logged on. I got 8. I'm assuming I'm gonna have a full group here soon, but I got 8 right now. Okay, fucking Brewman logs on. He's got 2 full groups. He tells me how many people he's got. Now I got an inventory of every soldier on the field, and then okay, this is under attack. Oh, we got a Zerg Reds. The whole server's at. Okay, send everybody. Well, there's only 3 of them attacking. Okay, well let's just send 3 then. You know what I mean? It's very efficient. But what it needs is everybody to fucking follow directions and not guff about it, because that's what ended up happening after a month of us controlling everything. I'll never forget the time that AD and EP figured out what we were doing, and they're like, well, we need to do the same thing or we're not going to beat these guys. So they formed their own alliance and came in and they hit every single M-keep at the same fucking time. And that was on me. I was it was on my shoulders, and I'm like looking at this map and I'm thinking, holy fuck, it was like overwhelming the amount of enemies, and I'm like, fuck it. We're just going to start fresh, start back. Everybody meet me at Gladesmith and let's push out as one. Fuck, just gotta take a step back, and we ended up just fine. I don't know. So argumentatively, I was probably the biggest Zergling ever because I don't think anybody's ever had that many fucking people underneath their control like that. Like holy fuck. I don't care though. It is what it is.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I remember those days.
I remember EP and AD messaging me every single day like, dude, the entire DC Alliance has pulled out. Why haven't you? Why do you sit here every single day taking this beating? I'm like, I ain't a pussy, dude. I ain't fucking running like a bitch.
I think that was back when Baconator had switched to DC.
I ain't fucking running like no bitch, dude. That's not me. Because all that's going to happen is they're going to find you wherever you ran to like a fucking coward and just talk shit to you there. It's not like they're going to go away,
I mean, you're not wrong.
Oh, we'll just go to this other campaign and, everything will be better.
You remember what I had said earlier about the PC community being vastly different?
Yep, I've already noticed that.
Yeah, you're not going to get any shit like that on PC. Like, nobody's going to chase you down to a different campaign and just harass you. It's just not going to happen.
I'll tell you a story. One time in Shore, all the yellows decided to come to Zerg Shore. Punish, whatever. And just fucking obsessed tools, and so then I analyzed the situation. I'm like, well, obviously the only reason why they're able to push me in my home campaign is because they're obviously doing well in that campaign. So I got an idea. Why don't I just go push them in their campaign? That way they can't afford to come push me in my campaign. So I go into Greyhost, or whatever it was, Vivek, whatever it was back then, and I shit you not, within the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes of me going into Greyhost, yellows ended up emptying because so many yellows followed me in there that main server, 30-day server, couldn't handle that many yellows. Like, they literally emptied within like 15 minutes. And I'm like, okay, well, this didn't go very well. Now I'm hurting DC in this campaign because there's so many of them followed me. I'm going to go back to my home campaign. The yellow imp followed me from the main campaign to my 7-day campaign and was dethroned in the next 10 minutes because they fucking like, what the fuck? Who follows from the main campaign as imp to a 7-day camp and just gets deep? You know, that's some serious fucking weird shit going on right there.
It's actually really, really funny.
Dethroned in 10 minutes because he wasn't paying attention to his imp.
I mean, despite the fact that I was, you know, a yellow for quite a while, like I said, I was tri-factional too. Realistically, I despised a lot of the yellows. Just because of the sheer amount of idiocy that I would see in zone chat.
Oh yeah, toxic fucking idiots.
It's just some of the calls that were being made. It's like, do you even know how to read and assess a fucking Cyrodiil map? Do you have any idea what's going on right now?
Well, and their argument for that is they don't play the game to win or whatever. You know what I mean?
Is that on console or is that on PC?
Console? On
Yeah.
console, yeah.
Because on PC, I don't see too much of that. Well, yellow just generally doesn't talk very much.
What
I
do
see
we
it
call
on
them?
EP. I see it on EP side a lot.
Backseat drivers. You got a lot of backseat drivers on console. You know, like potential
Right.
nobodies that'll make call outs in zone chat and have no
Right.
fucking clue. You know, they'll you know, the crowns that know better
Right.
know what names to look for. You know, if
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know, there's-
you
If
give
they
them a
want good
chance.
information or not and stuff.
Yeah, you give them a chance, and after 2 or 3 bad calls, you no longer take it for, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like if I made a fucking call, right? You know, a lot of the bigger crowns knew. You know, Dez knew that I didn't really care for, you know, zerging and stuff like that. But he also knew that I wouldn't have a problem helping if asked upon, you know.
Yeah.
But he knew if I made a call, or if Zero Fox made a call, or if Gun Crits made a call, they knew that they could take that to the bank, right? To whereas if
Right.
it was some random person or whatever, you know, like like Punish just said, you know, you give somebody a couple tries. If it pans out, then you know to kind of like, you know, tick that person off on your list as, you know, if they say something in chat, you might want to pay attention to that
Right.
down the line, you know. Yeah, I didn't really get along with Dez. We had a falling out over some dumb shit at one point, which I tried to rectify, and he proceeded to continue to act like a child, so I called it a day. But he's a decent enough crown. He just doesn't like to take chances, right? He likes to stay below the horns. He doesn't like to venture north, and it's like, you know, he's one of those crowns that just likes things to be well enough. You know what I mean? And that's not my.
It's probably afraid of getting exposed, you know.
I mean, he's a decent enough healer,
That's what I think it is a lot of times when it comes to that, is people like get afraid of what other people think of them, you know.
yeah, I mean,
I better not do this because if it goes wrong, then I'll be exposed.
Any good crown knows that sometimes it ends up being a situation to where it looks like you just threw bodies at a keep. You win, you don't win them all.
Right.
You don't win them all. It doesn't always happen that way.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you should quit either.
Well, a lot of them do.
Yeah, they do. They
One of the mentors that I had when I first started playing this game 6 years ago, his name was Hashashin. He was a blue. He was a very good crown, very, very good. Because if you were outnumbered,
I know who you're talking about. He was around back when I was a blue.
Yep, he was one of my mentors, and I
He was a
respected him.
Nightblade, wasn't he?
I think, but I remember the day he quit playing ESO, and I remember why. And it was basically exactly what you're talking about. He made a call, and the call seemed like a good idea at the time. Probably was a good idea at the time. Things changed. It changed rapidly, and you know, caused like an enemy to imp because of his quote unquote bad call. You know, And people started coming down at him hard in the zone chat, and he never played ESO again from that day forward. And I learned a lot that day.
Sometimes it's like that, dude.
And I've done the same thing one time. I remember probably one of the most impactful things of me playing this game one time. I was Crown. I used to run my groups a lot like a time schedule. Like, you know, we every hour on the hour we'd get a buff, and then every hour on the hour we'd take a break, a 5-minute break. You know, like every hour on the hour, and it just seemed like it went really well because now I don't have half my group disappearing out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It's everybody knows they get a break, 5 minutes every hour, whatever. Well, one time I was looking at the map, and the whole map was great. There was nothing to do other than hit King's Crest. Well, unfortunately, the enemies came on, and the amount of time it took me to go from Dragonclaw to King's Crest, the enemies hit like 4 out of the 6 Emp keeps and took them in just that little bit of time. Like, they must have hit them right when we started rolling.
In rapid succession, yeah.
Yeah, like they hit them all 4 at the same time, and they took them as fast as we could ride from Dragonclaw to King's Crest. So then now, as we're putting a ram up at King's Crest, you know, they're on their way to the last 2 M keeps. We don't have time to get there. They ended up crowning and dethroning us or whatever. And it made me look like I was just an idiot, but I knew better than that. I knew that it was a good call. Like, I even told the group, I'm like, it was a good call when I made it, but had I paid a little bit more attention.
Sometimes you don't have any control over shit like that. When your enemy crowns are making orchestrated calls like that, and they're keeping it quiet, you can't see that coming. It happens.
Well,
and there's nothing you can do about it.
From that day forward, I opened my map a lot more often. And, you know, a lot of the people that run with me, they'll be like, hey, Pun, you know, they're taking resources at Ayleswell. Hey, Pun, you know, the Dragonclaw's flagged. Hey, Pun. And then eventually I'll be like, you know, I appreciate those call-outs, but I seen those things 3 minutes before you did. You know what I mean? I'll never let that happen to me again. You got to be aware, you know, because I'm responsible of all those people. You know what I mean? It's
best thing you can do is just teach people how to read the map. You know, like a buddy of mine that actually, when I started on PC, I played Final Fantasy XIV on PC with this guy for years. He was actually my co-tank at one point and my co-melee, because there's like your traditional trinity setup, you know, healer, tank, DPS, 2 healers, 2 tanks, 4 DPS, whatever. So you have your co's, you know, your co-healer, co-melee, whatever. And he came over here, and he's really big on PvP. He PvP'd a lot in World of Warcraft. And he asked me, he said, so what defines a decent PvPer in Cyrodiil? And I said, well, the first thing you got to learn how to do is read the map. You got to learn how to more or less anticipate where the flow of combat is going to be. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it was funny because no sooner than I told him that, mind you, I was on my DC character. Mind you, I played Tried Factional, and one of the reasons for that is you learn how that flow of combat moves on all 3 factions when you play on those factions, right? It's a habitual thing, realistically. Mm-hmm. So no sooner than I told him that, right? We had Brindle, you know, Daggerfall. We had Brindle. This was on PC. As soon as I saw that Velastris flagged, I said, I bet money I don't have that AD is on their way to Brindle. I teleported down to Brindle, and before I could even get to the front door, I heard the fucking catapults. Yeah. And like, I had just told him, you got to learn how to read the map. You know what I mean? So that said, like, that's one of the main things that I try to do when I meet new players in PvP, or that, you know, when my friends come to ESO and they learn to PvP, you know, they want to learn how to PvP, I tell them, you got to learn how to read the map. Like, don't just stand there with your thumb in your ass waiting for something to happen. You gotta go to it, or you know, learn how to see where it's gonna be and then be there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it takes somebody taking charge and being like, okay, nothing's happening, but there's plenty of soldiers on the field, just nothing's happening. Well, that's because nobody's taking charge, nobody's making a call. You just got to be like, hey, you know, all right, well, since it doesn't seem like anything's going on, I'm going to head over here if anybody wants to join me. Next thing you know, there's 15 people there with you, you know.
Yeah, I used to do that on PS4 every now and again. Because, I mean, you had that shortage happen a lot. There weren't a lot of really good crowns, per se, on AD. And oftentimes for the queen, like, to fuck off and be all up in Daggerfall keeps, as I'm sure you know so well.
Oh, yeah, even if it doesn't mathematically make sense.
Nope, that's all they like to do is fuck off and get AP. They could give a shit less about map control. I never understood it, nor agreed with it, but at the end of the day, I kind of really didn't care either. You know what I mean? There were times where I was just like, look, I'm gonna be X at X front door in Y minutes, and then, you know, like you said, you know, either people show up to help or they don't. And then sometimes that snowballs. If people show up, then they continue to keep showing up, and then, you know, it pans out in your favor.
Fucking right.
Your corpse will make a fine addition.
Zone crown.
Yep.
Minion. This
I've actually seen that play out really well quite a few times over the years, the zone crown thing. Nobody's really got a group going, but you kind of just,
I admire your tenacity.
you're herding the sheep, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People want to help, but they don't know what to do and how to do it. They don't want to take a chance, or they don't want to put their neck out on the line. They don't want to be responsible. But if you want to make the call, they'll show up and try to help you. But if things go wrong, you're the one to blame. You know what I mean? It's
But oftentimes, if you're not actually making a group, but rather, you know, nudging the crowd through zone chat, nobody really points fingers. You know, you go as far as you can go, and, you know, until you hit a wall, and then you hit a wall, it's whatever, you know. But that's, again, that was one of my biggest complaints though about For the Queen. I never fucking understood why they were like that. And then Ness told me when he switched to AD that they had gone to EP. I'm like, well, good fucking riddance, son. Because, you know what I mean? I was like, I can't stand them. They're not. They can go be a thorn in EP side. They don't need to be on AD. Everybody can be like, oh, you know, where's For the Queen? Oh, probably fucking off in somebody's home keep somewhere, doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I think Ness plays yellow on the PS4
Yeah,
now,
he's-
and like gray.
Yeah, he's AD now. Yeah, he's AD now. Him and Joe, and actually I think all of Atrocity went to AD with him. Just a change of scenery for him. I'm sure there's some other politics behind it, but I didn't pry when
Well-
he said he was going over there. Nessa's good people, dude. Like even his rivals, like Ness and most of those Atrocity guys, like it would be common that I would see them in passing, even when I was on my yellow, and we would just, like, you know, kind of like a, you know, you tip your hat to them and just keep on going about your business. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you have that mutual respect amongst, you know, some of the higher tier PvPers. You have a mutual respect for them, or with them rather.
Okay, well, I think I finally got all this gear crafted on my freaking PS4 tune.
Two, I don't know if I told you either, but if you can get taxis, I mean, hell, you could even teleport to me. Do those Skyrim dailies at least, the ones in the Reach and the ones in Western Skyrim. big time the ones in the Reach though, because you can get some of the crafting patterns from there that some of them are worth some pretty good gold, man.
So the Reach, you said?
Yeah, in the Reach.
Dailies?
Yeah, the dailies in the Reach, because the Reach is always populated almost 24/7, dude. Like, you can bang those dailies out 10
And
minutes.
what was the other one?
Western Skyrim. Both of the sets of dailies in both of those zones are like right off of the Way Shrine.
Champ rank
They give-
130.
And they give you a pretty good chunk of XP too, especially with the delve ones in the newer zones. Provided you don't just run past all the mobs, that you actually kill the mobs on the way to your objective, you can walk out with 100k plus XP out of a delve, easy. Excuse me. You've been making sure you try and tag every mob that drops.
Yeah, every single ad that I try to get a hit on it.
Yep. That's all, and that's all you got to do is tag it too.
Yeah.
Which that I don't recall that being working that way. Last time I actually had to level a tune.
Pointless. 10 anchors drop for each that is destroyed.
I must have to eat my cake.
Did you use those pots I sent you already?
Which pots were they?
Ethereal Ambrosias?
Oh yeah, I think I just used the last one today. Yeah, I used the last one today. Man, those fuckers come in handy.
Yeah, they do. They're expensive as shit on PC though, so that said, being that you do your writs and you level your crafting, you do that shit. Which, on that subject, it's quite funny because a lot of actual hardcore PvPers do not even mess with that shit. And it's
Right.
like, I don't think you understand the validity in actually doing that shit, dude. Like,
Well,
you know what I
there's
mean?
only so much time in a day, and in all honesty, there was one Sunday. It was within the last few weeks. I spent till I think it was 6 in the morning until 6 or 7 o'clock at night. That's the day I did writs on every single one of my tunes on every single one of my accounts, and I mean, it's time consuming. It really is. Yeah, you can get a system down though. That's the thing, and that's kind of why I stream it, so that way anybody that wants to do it can see that if you get a system down. Sometimes I'll even put a timer up, like, hey, this is how much it takes me. I can do a writ in 2 minutes. I can do all my writs on a tune in 2 minutes, and then if something goes wrong, 2.5 minutes, right? Well, I mean, still, if you got 10 tunes times 2.5 minutes, that's time. It's a lot of time. You know what I mean?
It is, but that's like, that's what I was gonna say is like a lot of some of the guys I used to mess with on console and PvP, they're like, "Why are you doing that PvE shit when I'm doing writs?" And it's like, if I don't do this PvE shit, nobody's gonna be here to support your fucking potion habit.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like this is a double-edged sword over here. But anyway, like, being that you do that, I would advise something that you put on your priority list is getting up enough writ vouchers or enough gold to just buy that recipe so you can craft those 100% XP pods. Because the price of those potions on PC and what people want for the mythic ambrosia, you can literally get 5 of the 100% XP pots for the price of 1 of the 150s.
Right.
It's kind of nutty.
Yeah, I plan on
And then-
trying to get it all, man. Like anything and everything, any
Yeah.
motif, any recipe. I mean, I do that everywhere. Like on the PS4, I got one crafter that I'll try to get everything on.
Everything.
Now-
Yeah, that's my
now
DK.
the fact I have 3 accounts on the PS4, but it's not. it's not for that. It's really, the only reason why I have so many accounts, to be honest, is I originated from GTA, and on GTA, if you remember, if you played it, there's a bad sports lobby, and I honestly think that Punish and Protect on GTA would. There wasn't another crew out there, at least that we came across, that would stand up against us. We were the most powerful crew that I ever came across on GTA. So if I were put in the bad sports lobby for a month, it didn't go well. So I'd create another account and I'd just come out there and fucking, okay, I got to create another account, guys, and that's why I have so many accounts. Then later on, I know you didn't really ask for all this information, but later on in life, like, I've had haters since before I even came to ESO. You know what I mean? It's, I've had haters on GTA where I'd have allies on GTA where
I
allied
played
crews.
GTA briefly with some buddies, but we were in the free aim lobby, so yeah, I know
Mhm.
I know a portion of what you're talking about.
Yeah, so we would have allied crews and shit that there was ceasefire against them if you accidentally killed whatever. Well, I had people pretending that they were the leader of Punish and Protect, and then just creating wars with my allies. I mean, there's just always been this toxicity and shit that I've always had to deal with ever since I can remember. And so my point is that the account that created Punish and Protect to begin with, my name was Nasty Nate 1981. The only reason why I have an account right now in Punish Protect is because I wanted everybody to know who the actual leader of the thing was, because it was causing way too many issues, like political issues. As funny as that may sound. So, and the reason why one of the reasons why I tell you that is that's one of the reasons why I have so many accounts. I mean, at one point I had probably 11 accounts, because I kept getting thrown in the bad sports lobby, and it was just for like blowing people's cars up or something stupid, and anyway, so then, but now when you come across people on like ESO, they'll be like, well, this guy's so weird, he named his guild after him. That's not really actually how it went down. And Punish and Protect, the name was created when my account was Nasty Nate 1981, and the reason why I thought of Punish and Protect was because we would, instead of us going around in GTA killing people as fast as we could, we'd go around and try to help people, like the new players, level 10 that just got dropped down the streets of frickin' GTA with a pistol, and they're getting ran down by people with Gatling guns and shit. You know what I mean? Like, we would go and help them.
Yeah, that's the guys that I played GTA with, and mind you, I only got up to like level 80 something. I didn't play very long, but those guys, like, that was their main game, I think the name of the clan was the Grove City Boys or something like that.
God, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, no, they were good players. Like, they were really good. They weren't assholes either. But by God, like, same thing. Like, they were not keen on high level players just being assholes to newer players and low levels. Like, I remember one day, like, I don't remember what it was I was doing. I think I was just cruising around. I got out of my car for some reason, and somebody just offed me for no fucking reason. And I'd said something had happened, and the next thing I know, like, my buddy's like, Gray Fox was his name, and I met these guys on Warframe.
Gray Fox.
Yeah,
God,
Gray
he sounds
Fox.
familiar.
You play Warframe? I play Warframe.
Yeah, I played the shit out of Warframe.
So did I.
I'm gonna try to describe Gray Fox. Was he a black guy?
Yes. Yeah.
God, I think I became fucking friends with him.
Yeah. Yes, he was. Well, like, what had happened was, like, somebody had offed me, and I was just minding my own business. And he's like, you know what? Hold on, I'll be right there. And he's like, is he? He asked me, is he still there? I'm like, yeah. And he's got a couple of buddies. Next thing I know, dude, this fucking jet flies over me and just blows them all to shit, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah,
He went and stole a jet from the airfield, bro.
yeah, oh, yeah. That guy was a buddy of mine. I wonder if do you still talk to him by any chance?
I haven't talked to Gray Fox in probably like 3 years, honestly.
I'm literally like 99.9% sure that not only was he a buddy of mine, but he was one of the allies that I was talking about. That's just
Grove
crazy.
City Boys was the name of the clan. They were good. They were good people. Trying to remember some of the other guys' names because, like I said, it's been a long time since I really talked. Crow was one of them. It was Crow with numbers or something like that. Yeah, that shit had me dying though. He's like, yeah, I got your back. Just give me a minute. Next thing I know, dude, this jet just flies over and just literally obliterates these kids. Dude, it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I didn't even know you could do shit like that in that game at that point in time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, you know, you can get helicopters and everything. I'm like, bro. So this is like Battlefield, but in the streets of LA then.
So it seems like what I need is a Spriggan's Greatsword on the PC. I'm gonna reconstruct.
Castro, that was one of the other guys' names. Castro, Grey Fox, Crow, the three that I can remember. Why am I getting... Oh, I'm enlightened. I was like, wait a minute. Why are these mobs giving me 20k XP? Did I break the game? Hello? Maybe it's just me, but I feel like there's some kind of hidden scaling with the champion point system, because I feel like ever since I maxed out that, you know, damage over time thing in the CP tree, like my dots on my mag DK just do so much damage.
Hey, let me ask you a question. When it comes to these repair kits, I could have sworn back in the day one repair kit repaired one piece of your armor, but now every time I use one repair kit, it repairs all my armor.
Are they the blue ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, the blue ones repair everything. Everything in your inventory, for that matter.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Just one of them
They're
does that?
really good. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest, I actually spend crown gems on those. Like, if there's nothing else in the crown crate shop that I want, like, I just buy the kits, because they're so good.
Man is mortal and doomed to death, failure, and loss. My subjects failed me. They deserve to be destroyed.
Champ rank 131. I feel like it's starting to slow down a little bit.
Telling you, go do all the dolmens and delves and shit you haven't done. And
Well, this is a really
the amount of XP you get for the first time completion bonus is insane. It's
I like this though because I'm doing two things. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because you can do that stuff on PS4. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you're watching the stream still or not, but I'll actually.
No, I have it up on my other screen.
So I'll show you here. Like I'm actually currently, well, I guess I'd have to do this when I'm currently traveling to my guild hall on the PS4, and I'm completing my Stamsork sets. And I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna try to PvP a little bit with the guild tonight. I haven't PvP'd with the guild all day today. We had a meeting. We had a meeting today on the PS4, and I attended that, but I haven't fought side by side with the guild today at all.
That was a big thing that Cougar was having a really hard time with. You know, like, she was worried about coming to PC, because I'm like, you know, just come over here. We have cake, you know?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, you know, I can't leave the guild, you know? And she's got her hands in a lot of shit over there on console. You know, end game, higher tier trials teams.
Yeah,
It takes
dedicated and loyal officers. Like they have to be loyal because everybody that starts running
Yeah.
a group.
Well, she's into
wants to do
trading
it for
too. She's
themselves.
got her hands into the higher tier trading as well, and you know, I mean, you know how much it
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
costs to get a trader and console on in Wayrest, you know.
Yep.
Shit's not cheap, man. And she's got her hands in that stuff, and she doesn't want to leave that behind, you know, coming over here to PC. So she's having, you know, for lack of a better term, commitment issues, so to speak. You know,
Yeah.
she doesn't know
Oh,
what
yeah.
to do.
It's understandable.
Oh, absolutely.
Damn
And
it.
she's like, well, you know, all my crown crate items and stuff I got on console and yada yada yada. I'm like, well, you know, crowns are half off right now. You know, like, yeah, trying to drive the nail a little bit, but I'm not gonna pressure, you know, because it's tough, especially when you've got your hands on all that stuff and you've got an established gaming community over there. Like, I told her just try and balance the two as best you can.
Back to this.
Yeah, well, what I do, and this is
Sure.
another reason why I like my setup, is I'll supervise, and then if I feel like they, you know, sometimes it's important for people to fail so they can learn how to succeed, but every once in a while, you know, you don't want to let them fail all the time, so you just step in and help them out. You know what I mean? That's what I do. Like yesterday, they were trying to dethrone this amp. This guy's been amp for freaking almost 3 days now. I think 3 days now or something. So I stepped in to try to help, and I think he still might
Is it
be
a
amp.
nobody?
It's Mud Crab.
Really? And
Yeah.
Greyhost?
No, we're in Blackreach. Yeah, we're in Blackreach. Our home campaign's Blackreach. You still there?
Mm-hmm. Feels so good to be able to solo these freaking DLC world bosses. Like a few weeks ago, I came over here, and if I even looked at these bosses out in the DLC zones halfway crooked, they would one-shot me.
Could have sworn I had a Spriggan's Greatsword
On PC?
on PS4.
Well, that ought to net you a pretty freaking penny right now, man.
I'm just trying to craft one or find one.
Yeah, when I was DC, I had a much different PSN name. But I didn't really Zerg. I didn't really mess with a lot of people when I was on Daggerfall. The main thing that made me leave, I was close to getting amp in one of the main campaigns. I can't remember if that was around Vivek or it might have been Azura's. It was that long ago. And Ego, I think Ego is still DC. Ego Roses.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
Was amp,
She
but
joined
was
our
gonna
guild for a
step
while.
down. Yeah, she was gonna give me a chance to get it. But then the other guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, even though I should because it was really shitty. But I caught him boosting. Caught him boosting at Glade Mist. Because I had wondered what was going on because I logged out, you know, because I got kids and shit. I can't, you know, I can stay up quite late, but you know, I still have to at least get a few hours of sleep to you know, get up and do the dad thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And this guy had jumped like almost 1 million AP on me overnight. So I was like, well, what the fuck? You know, I'd asked around, and somebody said, well, he's probably boosting. You know, just keep an eye on the home keeps, and I did, and I fucking caught him boosting. You know, he had a few yellows or reds that would come along, and he'd sit there and, you know, tag the keep, and I would sit there and stealth, you know, from a distance watching this up on the hills, you know, behind, like, you know, the rocks behind Glade Mist.
Yep.
Yeah. And I watched it happen, and I called him out on it, and, you know, a bunch of politics ensued, and then I was like, you know what, fuck this. A bunch of people jumping down my throat about it because I called the guy out on it. Apparently the guy was well known. and that was the end of my stint on Daggerfall. Went back to AD for a while, then I went back to EP for a while. I never went back to Daggerfall after that, though. Some really crooked politics. Like, you know, people can say what they want, do what they want in a game, but when you gotta cheat, man, and then you have people backing you even though they know you're cheating, fuck you.
Well, what we usually do in that situation is we have the person provide, like, if we would have told you to send us a video of that, and then if you send us a video or some sort of a proof, or if we just known you for a long time. I don't know. So, sometimes, and I'm not saying that in this situation it was, but sometimes people think it is something that it's not. But you know what I mean. But again, this probably was happening in that situation. But so
I mean, I would have never thought to look if somebody didn't actually say something to me about.
yeah, like I've been
You
accused
know.
of being a booster before, and you know what I mean. So that's why if I get solid proof, what we'll do then is we'll take a guy like you and we'll boost you ahead of the booster, because we have a more active guild than anybody I know of. You know what I mean? We'll have 150 people online. There's not very many guilds that can compete with that. So we would just have 10 people jump on a yellow or a red and boost you up. You know what I mean? Boost you ahead of the booster.
But see, like, that's a pride thing for me, though, Pun. Like, I honestly, like, even though you would throw that offer on the table, I would decline it. Even knowing in the back of my mind that you know, that would basically disable me getting Emp, because I would decline that. It's a pride thing for me, man. It just
Sometimes
I couldn't.
sometimes
be
you
okay.
get sick of it and you take your gloves off, you know. And after a while, you know,
Those pride gloves, man. They're a motherfucker.
no, and I was the same way you were for a while. Year after year after year, but the enemies start using that shit against you, you know. Like let's say there is a booster. Right now, we in our home campaign on PS4, we have a booster in first. And our guild was out there pushing, and we could have dethroned the yellow and crowned. But my guild refused to do it. I had a guy that was running crown that would have did it, but then I had an officer in this group that was like, no, we ain't crowning this guy. What are you doing? And pulled off. Well, we'll end up losing the campaign because of it. So what that means is that one person can come and boost in front and get in first, and now an entire alliance will lose in a campaign just because of one booster. You know, it's
Because of one fucking person, and that's all it takes. That's all it takes. And then, like, not only that, like, if that booster decides to be Emp, and then he just doesn't care about pushing the map, really.
So it sucks. You have that kind of shit on all three alliances. So that's the problem.
You do. You really do.
So you go to AD, you're gonna have somebody do it. You go to EP, you're gonna have somebody do it.
I will say this, though, out of the three alliances, EP didn't have as much of that going on. Now, their chat was a bit more toxic. I will give it that. But the fuckery of the cheating and stuff like that is not as prominent in my time there. But their chat was definitely a hell of a lot more toxic. I will say that.
Your strength will be rewarded.
I mean, all three factions, you know, they have their pros and their cons, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. People can say what they want. Well, this faction's better than the other because it's, you know, not this or not that. It's like, no, I mean, you have it in all of them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You really do. It's just that one faction maybe more so in one area.
And it might depend on the day and who's online and.
Yep.
I'm gonna have so much shit to deconstruct. All I need now is skill points, and then I'll have a tune.
Delves, dude. Telling you, don't take long. It's tedious. Make no mistake, it's tedious as shit. But run the delves, bang around, kill the mobs.
I think I will once I get some shit squared away on the PS4 here. Still trying to get my Stamsork geared up. searching through all my tunes because I could have sworn I had a fucking greatsword. And it's not letting me create one. I don't. That means that it's got to be on one of my tunes, just sitting there collecting dust.
And it didn't bind.
Yeah, that's so. Which means I either I either didn't deconstruct it like I thought, or it's sitting on one of my
Did you
tunes.
put it in a guild bank?
No. Fuck, man. It's having a difficult time here. Well, what I could do is just go weapons. I could make myself 2 Spriggan body pieces and then just use Hunting Rage weapons. Just bypass
Yeah, you can do
it.
that. Well, front bar this set and back bar that.
That kind of depends too.
No, both Huntings and Spriggans are spell weave where you can have it just because when you put the back bar
Right.
type thing.
I can't find this motherfucker.
Don't you wish you had inventory insight on console?
Oh god.
Can you
Oh,
imagine half the
God.
shit, dude?
Yeah, and I find myself talking about it to the guild on the PS4, and it's like they don't want to fucking hear it, man. You know,
Hey, but you gotta try though, right? Like you got
fuck.
to.
It's like playing ESO. It's like so Neanderthalic now when I go to fucking PS4. You know, it's just the load screens alone. You travel somewhere, it's like you could literally click travel to this way shrine, get up, go grab a cup of coffee, come back. You're still on a load screen. The fuck?
It's funny, dude, because I was talking to Ness about it, because Ness is actually finally giving in, and he's gonna dick around on PC a little bit too here and there. You know, now that he's got his community established on Twitch, and you know they've told him, you know, like, you know, some of his guys are like, you know, don't fucking leave us and go to PC, and then you got people like myself, which I'm a, you know, drop in the bucket, but you know I fuck with Ness. I've known him a while. But you know, a lot of us have told him, you know, it doesn't matter what platform you play on, we'll still kick it in your chat because we're, you know, not necessarily here because you play on PS4. We're here
Right.
because, you know, we fuck with you. You know what I mean? You could be playing Fortnite and we'd still want, well, maybe not that far, but you know what I mean. But no, he's tried to, you know, tell some of the people, or he admits it, you know, like when I had the conversation with him and I had said it in his chat that, you know, leveling on PC and getting CP is not only easier, but it's faster than console because of the load screens alone, right? You're more productive. So like if you're zone jumping to do delves or you're zone jumping to do public dungeons or something real quick and moving on to the next one, not having those ridiculously long load times and those freezes and those blue screens, it happens faster. You know what I mean?
A lot faster. I mean, there's days where I like want to shut my PS4 off because it's so fucking, you know. Now at least it's like, okay, I hit a load screen. All right, I'm gonna fuck around on the PC for a little while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And by the time your load screen goes through on PS4, you've already gone to like what, 2 different zones on PC. Like,
Okay, well, I guess I'm not gonna create myself a fucking. Alright, so
it's
what
just
is that?
it's a matter of trying to get people to understand that type of stuff. And it's,
Well, some
you know,
people can't afford to buy a PC, and that's what it is.
but they can afford to buy a PS5. Hello.
Well, what is a PS5? $500-600?
No. No, if you again, you're paying an inflated price unless you get lucky to get one while they're in stock. You know what I mean?
How much do you think you can get one for?
Like off the street, you're probably gonna pay about the same. I think about 700.
Yeah, I mean, I
Plus,
spent
700 to 900.
$1,300 just on my tower. You know what I mean? It's
Well, and that's just it. So like, look at it this way: like if you get the disc version of a PS5, say you buy it from Best Buy, then you tie in tax, Then you tie in extended warranty, because let's be honest, you're a fucking idiot if you buy a new console, a new gen console without a warranty on it. Like, you deserve anything bad that could happen. You know what I mean? So you tie in that warranty, so that's an extra like what, 80 to 100 roughly, somewhere in that neighborhood for the warranty, the extended warranty, and then a couple extra controllers, a couple games, your PS Plus. So at that point, you're probably knocking at the door at like 900 to a K, right?
Mhm.
Just buy a PC, be done with it.
But I feel like a PC is still going to be twice as much. It's
Not to play ESO, it's not. You can build a decent PC. If you're not opposed to, I mean, fuck, you could even get mid-tier new parts. But even then, if you're not opposed to, second-hand parts and stuff like that, right?
See, I keep forgetting that I stream, so I'm not buying a computer to fucking game on. I'm buying a computer to game on, stream from. Yeah, so it's
Right, but for somebody that doesn't stream, like you could easily build a really decent PC capable of running ESO and just about anything else out there right now with ease at 120 frames per second plus without a problem for the same price as a PS5 easily.
What do you so you said you use a PS4 controller for your computer?
I use a PS5 controller for my
Oh.
computer.
And you don't even have a PS5, you just bought a controller.
I just bought the controller. And there's reasonings behind that. It's not just me waving, my controller around. Hey, I got a PS. No. I wanted to get a PS4 controller, mainly because I like the button layout of the PS4, PS5 controllers for MMOs. If I'm playing a shooter on PC, I prefer the Xbox button layout. But for MMOs, I prefer the PS controllers. But I tried to find a PS4 controller around, and they were $65, man. And I think it's because they're no longer really being manufactured. It's a supply and demand thing because they're previous gen. And then I look and it's like, well, a PS5 controller is only $5 more, right?
What?
So
Where did you buy it from?
Best Buy.
Okay. I might have to.
I was like, at that point, I was like, fuck it. You might as well for $5 more get something that is going to continue to be made for the next few years, right? And then if you're buying a PS4 controller brand new now and you get the extended warranty on it, you run the risk of not actually being able to get a replacement because they're not being actively manufactured anymore. At least not by Sony. You know what I mean? Third-party companies will probably continue to make them for a while, but when it comes to controllers, because I'm so rough on them, I don't buy third-party. I buy the actual Sony ones and the Microsoft. Well, with the exception of my Xbox type controller, it's got the inverted joysticks like your Xbox controller. But I actually bought an MSI controller.
I buy them brand new from GameStop and I get a 1-year warranty on them, and within that 1 year, I'm for $10 I'm replacing it. So basically, I get a brand new controller every 3 months or something like that for $10.
I do the same thing with Best Buy. I get the black tie protection on it. No questions asked. Swap it out.
Right.
It even covers accidental. Same concept as GameStop, except it's it's a 2-year, I think. 2 or 4, I don't remember. Somewhere in that neighborhood. But it's the exact same concept, the exact same reasoning.
I'm having a lot of trouble going keyboard mouse, man. I really am, and I've been thinking about trying the fucking MMO mouse. It's just so hard.
Mighty went through the same thing, as did Sage, where they continued to use a controller for a while on PC, but then they just kind of weaned themselves off of it a little bit.
I think Sage said it took them 6 months to get used to it.
Yep. But for me personally, some games I use mouse and keyboard. Some games I prefer to use controller. There is a middle of the road thing that I did find for some games that worked really well for me, and it's called a Razer Tartarus. Um, it's a really comfortable thing to use, and it's got custom keybinds where you can actually use the software. So, like, say the game has a whole list of controls that are bound to different keys on your keyboard, right? What you can do with the Tartarus is you can use the software to bind the buttons on that to replicate the buttons on your keyboard. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense.
Say it one more time. Sorry, I got too much shit going on. I gotta pay 100% attention. That was something I
Okay,
gotta pay
so
100% attention to in order to for it to
okay,
click.
so with ESO, it's got certain buttons that are mapped on your keyboard that do certain things, right?
Yep.
And for comfort reasons, this Razer Tartarus thing has software on it to where you can customize the keys on it to be replicated, you know, from your keyboard.
Yep.
So, you know, it's
Yeah, because that's what one thing that I was thinking is that there's probably a disadvantage to use a controller over a keyboard. If you could get good at using
I
keyboard
mean,
mouse, you're probably
yes
gonna
and
be,
no. It depends. But here, that's the medium that I was talking about. I just linked it to you in a DM.
Okay.
I use that for some games because again, you can just bind those buttons to, you know, like WASD. You can bind that to be, you know, number 3, number 8, number 7, and number 9 on that pad, on that keypad. And that's definitely worth the investment. They're very comfortable to use. Back before I got a desk and actually hooked up my second monitor, I actually was, you know, I sat in a lazy boy for a while with my shit mounted up on the wall, on, you know, playing on PC. And with that thing I just linked you, I could literally put it on my knee, you know, and use that, and then my mouse in the other hand, respectively.
Oh, okay. So I got you. All right. Okay. So yeah, Yeah, you got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there.
Mm-hmm. And if you look at the pics too, it's got a little joystick on the side for your thumb. And you can actually bind it. It's not a full rotation like, say, a traditional joystick is, but it's like an omni click, right? It's like an 8-way or something, or a 12-way. It's basically your cardinal and intercardinals buttons on that joystick.
So this is yours right here. You have this?
Yeah, I have one of those. Yep, that exact one, the V2. Yep. It's really comfortable on the hands too. Well, on the hand rather. You know, that's something you could, you know, possibly consider for down the line if you know, you want to venture into the mouse and keyboard area of ESO. All those buttons via the software that comes with it, it's called Razer Synapse, is all customizable, fully customizable with that thing. You know, as opposed to trying to use a whole ass keyboard, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can basically bind everything to that small thing that is literally like, you know, the palm of your hand. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, because the issue that I have is like strafing and using my attacks. I mean, I'm using the left, you know, mouse click for a light attack, and I can strafe around and left and light attack just fine, or heavy attack just fine. But when I gotta go and use an ability, I mean, how do you do it with a keyboard? I mean, it's just so hard. I mean, you have to use 2 hands, and how do you
It's
move
kind
around?
of uncomfortable. Yeah.
Unless you have an MMO mouse.
Your white
Well, he said he was considering that, but he doesn't know if that's, you know, an avenue that he wants to pursue,
Right.
more or less.
Yeah.
I really just want to be comfortable, and I don't want to be at a disadvantage. If I'm playing a really good player, I don't want him to have an advantage over comfortability. That's for sure. I want to be on a level playing field. So
And see, that's basically why I bought that, because I was in that same spot when I had first come to PC. Was the main thing that made me buy that was 3 games that I was playing at the, you know, bobbling around between, not playing at the same time, obviously, but bouncing between, was Division 2, Overwatch, and another game called Last Oasis. You know, I was kind of at a disadvantage in those games for using a controller on PC, so especially fucking Overwatch and comp. You know, trying to use the controller and comp on Overwatch versus those mouse and key, you just not a good idea, dude. Some people do it and they do really well at it, but I mean, I'm getting old, dude. I don't have those fucking reflexes on the controller anymore for comp shooters. You know what I mean? Just don't. So I bought that, and that was my medium. It played out really well. Because, you know, most games that, you know, use the keyboard and everything, you can fit just about all of it on that thing. So, I don't know if you've seen them before or not, Brew. The Razer Tartarus, they're kind of like the Orb Weaver. I'll link it to you. I can't link it to you. I sent you a friend request on Discord, Brew.
Oh, okay, let me go to it.
Dude, I almost forgot to do my writs on my Nightblade. See, that's why I said you're insane, because I have a hard time doing it on 3 characters, let alone.
yeah, what's funny is I like as of right now, and the writs reset in what 58 minutes or 48 minutes.
Yeah, my point exactly. I almost missed it on one of my 3 characters.
So as of right now, I have all my writs done on the PC. I have writs done on my entire. I have a PNP gaming account, 8 characters. All of those writs are done. And then I have like 2 tunes on my Punish Protect on the PS4 account done. And I'm like sitting here fucking just thinking that I should probably try to get as many writs done as I can before that timer's up. I do it. I do it right now, honestly, for the motifs, because I want to be able to, you know, I do a lot of that.
I mean, you're probably going to rake in a shit ton of dough. Yeah.
Well, it's more to learn them, because I want to be able to do the master writs, and I want to be able to get the special, you know, the whatever, so I can get, you know, the guild hall, like, you know, so I can get the whatever. Get the, what is it called, the attunables in the guild hall. You know, my goal is to eventually have, like on the PC, I'm going to do things different. On the PS4, I have a lot of people that like to use their house as the guild hall, you know, and they got all the attunables and stuff, and that's great. But I want to have that, you know what I mean? And I like to donate to them and help them, but at the end of the day, I think I should have one myself, like instead of relying, like what happens if that person leaves the guild? You know what I mean? I like to be independent.
See, that's one commitment I could not make on console. Or PC rather, is getting all those attunables.
Yep.
That's a hard grind right there. And then I use my RIP vouchers to buy the diminished dust, you know, so that I can make those pots we talked about earlier. But maybe down the line I could do that. You know, I could set that as a goal.
Yeah, it's
but,
a long-term goal for me.
I'll be completely honest with you, and you'll probably judge me for it. I didn't even decorate my house on PS4. Like, I literally just threw shit all over the place just to get it out of my inventory.
Well, and I don't have very much stuff too. So I mean, I decorated mine, but that's because I have a grand total of maybe 10 to 12 items or something.
I didn't even do that, and that's, you know, how we were talking about, you know, doing things differently on PC. I have actually started to decorate my house. Like, you know, that's a big step for me, man.
I was kind of laughing at you when I first came back. I laughed at people doing that. Now I'm doing my house too a little bit. It's like shit.
Yeah.
Have you been to my primary yet? Any of you guys? Probably not.
You see?
Yeah.
I have
No.
not.
Yeah, it's coming along. I got every crafting station, you know, normal one, except for the jewelry. I got myself like six storage coffers that I keep all my writs in or my surveys in.
Nice.
So those things are freaking jam packed with alchemy, blacksmithing, clothing. I mean, you guys
Those
need
things
some-
are a godsend, though, dude. The little storage coffers, those things
Oh,
are
yeah.
amazing.
Oh yeah.
So the other day when I spent money on crowns and I bought an assistant and I got Salty assistant, I used the rest of the crowns to get coffers and I don't remember what else I got.
And if you're gonna buy crowns, now is definitely the time to do it and not feel bad about how much you spent, because you know that price difference.
40% or whatever it is.
I mean, if you're gonna buy them, you might as well go big or go home and get that 21K.
Yeah, I think that's what I did. I just got the 21,000.
Just the amount that you save on it is because you're basically going to be paying double for that when that goes away, right? So
Right.
if I can get into a Valkyrie's hold before it's over, I'm not doing City of Ash 2 on vet right now.
Yeah, I've already done my random dungeon today on PC. Both my dailies or whatever dungeons. I've done all my writs on PC. I've done and then all my writs.
You do your
on-
daily battleground?
Oh, there's a daily battleground.
Oh yeah,
You get a lot of XP for that.
same amount that you get from the daily dungeon.
Like 100k XP, I think, is what you get from that.
Mm-hmm. And then you tie in the cake and a scroll or whatever. So I know
I should do
it's
that.
like 313 or 18 or something K with a 100% pot and the cake.
What do I got? 42 minutes or something to do that daily?
The daily battleground.
Yeah.
That'll more or less be an insta queue, honestly.
Whoops. What the fuck?
And those don't reset at daily reset. Those actually reset, I think it's like 24 hours or something, roughly. It's supposed to be 24 hours from when you did your last one, but sometimes I feel like it's more like 20 hours or some shit like that, or 12 hours, I'm not sure.
All I know is I just found me a 150% XP buff fucking scroll. Fuck yeah.
Nice.
I don't even know where I got it. Must have been the daily rewards.
Did you open some crown crates?
Yeah, that might have been where I got it.
Yeah, it could have came from that, yeah. Either way, it's a good find. Told myself though that like once I hit 1,000 champion points on PC, I'm probably just gonna like chill out and maybe actually play the fucking game. It's like that's one of the things too that when I started over on PC, it's almost like playing the same game, but yet it feels vastly different, right? Because you remember things that you long since forget after the years on console when you first start over again on PC.
Yep. Starting over can be fun, but it can also be
Yeah, but-
tedious. Depends on
Yeah.
how much, you know.
That's why I try to remember, like, you know, like taking in the scenery and listening to the, you know, the music and the, you know, and stuff like that. It's, you know, shit that you long since quit caring about.
Mm-hmm. Champion 133.
I'm telling you, dude, it's gonna happen fast. Like you're gonna, you know, in 2-3 weeks time, you're gonna probably be sitting at like 500-600 CP easy, and you're gonna look back at it like, fuck, that was fast, you know?
Yep.
pushing like I think 6 or 7 weeks in. I'm pretty sure Sage knows better than I do at this point because it's starting to become a blur for me. But yeah, 6-7 weeks and I'm almost 1,000 champion points. Okay, I don't know why I thought I was on my Sork for a second, and then I realized I was on my Magblade. It's like, yo, why is my frag not proccing? Oh wait, that's Merciless Resolve.
I've done that before. It's like, shit, what the hell's going on? Oh shit, I'm on the wrong tune.
Wrong tune, yeah. That's why I try not to spend too much time on one tune, you know what I mean?
Right.
Magblade is so chonky this patch, though. Like, the damage it deals? Well, at least in PvE. I don't know about PvP. I have not taken her into PvP yet, but...
All others in time. The strong should always command.
Last time I played Magblade, obviously it was on PS4, and I just remember it being... didn't hit as hard as it should for the amount of fucking magicka it went through.
Yeah.
Like, now it's nothing for me to hit, you know, like a 50k plus Merciless Resolve, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think I've had some actually hit for like, you know, 63, 64k, something like, I mean, granted that was like, you know, fully buffed, Warhorn, everything, you know? And that's, you know, I'm wearing all purple gear, so... Minus my
Right.
staves. My staves are golded out, and so are my monster sets, but that's it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in grind CP mode, so... I told myself that I wasn't gonna bother golding shit out until, you know, I had my CP where I wanted them. And I'm sure as shit not golding out PvE gear. Like, fuck that.
Right. It's just meta is always changing.
Well, that, and I'm kind of in the same boat as Pun here. To where, my main focus of ESO does not revolve around the PvE world.
And mine too.
I'm
Plus, I took
more
a
of
5-year break, and all the gears totally changed in that 5 years. So now I'm having to redo all the gear for all my tunes. So I was like, ugh. Yeah, so I'm lucky if I get all purple. Most likely my tunes don't even have all purple right now.
5 years? Fuck, that's a hell of a break.
Yeah.
I mean, I've taken like 2-year break. That's the longest break I've had. Is like nearly, yeah, it was nearly 2 years.
I thought about coming back a couple times. I came back, started feeding my horses, started doing stuff, making the new tunes for new classes or something. Then just never did really play. After about a week or two of feeding my horses, doing some dailies and stuff, trying to get massive stuff to go again, then I just quit again. So I didn't really do anything. I didn't do any PvP. I didn't do any dungeon. I just was logging in for about an hour or two and just basically feed horses. At the time when I quit, I had about 4 or 5 50s, but they were VR16s back then. But then I had a bunch of
I was gonna say it was
lower
probably
levels.
VR ranks still when you
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. I mean, I think they were just doing the new CP system. I think they were doing the original 160.
The one Tamriel thing.
Yeah, when they just started doing that. But we were 50 for a long time, and then they came out with VR16s, and then the VR ranks, and then they did the new one. They were just doing that kind of when I quit.
Fucking VR ranks, dude. That shit was so tedious.
Yep.
Like, I hated that shit, dude, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like, you had to do it on every tune, bro.
Oh yeah.
Every
sucked.
tune.
And then and now people are talking about it. It's like, hey, there's a huge difference between a brand new player just in VR's rank versus a VR 1000 right now. A huge difference. And I thought, well, we should get time. We should get advantage for our play times. Like, well, what about my play time? You played 2 years. I played over 2 years, way back, and I didn't get. I'm way behind. We didn't get when we were 50, we didn't get any kind of points accumulated or anything. When we did VR16s, they didn't keep accumulating our points or anything. We just sat there for a while. It wasn't until the new CP system when they finally start keep on earning points even though you're capped. So it's like, hey, I got the same amount of time you do, yet when I first came back, I wasn't even a CP 300. I was like a CP 200 or something. So I was like, why is your time more valuable than my time just because you came later? Play later, I help support the game as it's developing. That's why I get in arguments with people about when they start talking about how they need to do a catch-up mechanic. My whole thing right now is new players are coming in, and their first thing is they get 100 XP for doing a battlegrounds. Oh, let's jump in battlegrounds. They get slaughtered in battlegrounds. New player going to battlegrounds for the first time, they get smashed, and they just go, wow, PvP and ESO sucks. I watch a bunch of streamers that I've watched Warframe with, a bunch of stuff. They go into Elder Scrolls. It's like, oh, cool, I'm gonna go watch how he does. And sure enough, every time they run into battlegrounds, it's like, dude, don't go to battlegrounds. Don't go to battlegrounds. And sure enough, they go into it, and then they start all, the whole group gets pissed off and stuff. And they're good players. They do other MMOs and they do good, but their first impression always is ESO PvP sucks. And it's like, well, dude, you gotta try Cyrodiil, you gotta try the different things. But usually they quit before that. And there's no catch-up mechanics for new players coming in, so they're just getting slaughtered when they come in. So that's my whole thing with ESO right now. So I'm getting to the point where I'm getting close to CP 700 pretty soon now. I'm almost kind of where I was at before. I'm starting to get where I got a little bit of well-roundedness, but I'm still one-sided mostly still. But at least I'm starting to get where, hey, at least a CP 1000 is going to stomp on me. A CP 1300, yeah, he'll still stomp on me, but it's still a huge difference. And then a lot of these streamers just go, oh no, the CP doesn't make that much difference at all. So it's a huge difference.
I know this girl that made a YouTube video. She says, I don't think CP matters. Like, fucking right. I mean, if you're playing a horrible player and
exactly,
you're a good player.
There's some people even I beat a 1600 before. Anyone can be a 1600 if they're away from the keyboard or if they're just a real shitty player.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, to an extent, like, CP is definitely nothing but a number, right? And I mean,
it's pretty big. As I go in with one of my tunes, I slam into a CP someone my level. I go on there, I do damage to him. I could do well, but a well set up CP 1600, I'll go in there. I'll barely do a scratch on him. I won't hardly do any damage to him. I was like, oh shit, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
So there's a huge difference
to a certain extent. I've run into. I mean, I've been playing the game for fucking like 5-6 years now, and I still.
They have offense and defense. I can either go one way or the other at my level.
You run across somebody that is experienced, like, for instance, like, say Pun, right? Pun is his main character, I know, mostly, from what I've known of Pun, and I've run across Pun on opposing ends for quite a while on PS4. I know he favors his Magsork, right? So you run across somebody who's starting over on PC that mains a Magsork. He may not have any CP. He might be, say, like Pun was level 40 something. Somebody runs across him and they have like 800 something CP, and they run across him in Cyrodiil. If that 800 something CP person does not know how to play their class, and Pun might be level 30 something, but he's experienced and he knows how to play Magsork and he knows how to PvP, there's a very high probability that Pun is going to hand his ass to him.
Pun will have a very good
without
chance
any CP.
But if the other guy's even competent, then he's gonna hand that big. Well, that's 800 versus 1,000, and that is gonna be a huge difference. You got about a 30% increase of damage and right off the bat.
Then you gotta also entail the battle level that Pun's gonna get too.
Well, he'll have lower level. Yeah, lower level. I'm not talking about low level. I'm talking about everybody has CP. The low level, the battleground integration. Yeah, you take a low level and you can slaughter some of these 800,000 guys.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd rather go in with a level 35 than a CP 160 right now. I'd rather do something like that, and you'd have a better chance of going against, especially 1600s, all that. So, and once they get around 1800, 2000, they've topped out. They can change their builds and stuff, but they're not really changing much, anything. So anything after around 2000, 2200, they're just not. They're not getting any stronger. They just easily swap their abilities out. But there's a huge difference between around 800, 1000. You're starting to become balanced again, like we were before all this stuff happened. Yeah, 1200 and stuff. You've got 1600. You've got almost all your abilities. You're well rounded, very well rounded too. Net by then, and have actually a lot of things totally maxed out. So I still can't max out all 4 of my slottables yet on most of my things. So I've got 1 or 2 maxed out. Then I've got a couple other of those 2 slottables that are kind of like halfway. Because I still got a lot of defenses. A lot of my passes I've been trying to get defense and offense going. So I don't like being in one way, all Glass Canyon or all totally defense. I want to be well balanced.
Yeah, I try to balance as well.
And trying to be that at a low CP level is tough. You're just either way you're gonna be. You can't do damage to them, or you still don't have enough points to be real good defensive yet either. So you're still gonna go down. So it's like shit. So, but if I get within someone, even though I was at 300, I could still take on someone 500. I could beat them. But someone around 700, 750, they were generally gonna beat me. Unless they were just a real shitty player. There was a couple times where I took 1,000, something like that, but I knew that player wasn't very good at all, or he's totally AFK. I'm just kidding. They were there definitely, but it's just trying to get that balance right now for me was struggling.
Oh, the XP is just great right now at this dome, and I'm getting 16.3. Just for killing ads. I can't wait to see what I get for the fucking dome itself. 16.3 just for killing the ads. I'm now killing the boss.
Wow. The other thing is also my gear. I'm still, back then I was still in green gear, mostly green and blue. Now I'm at least getting mostly purple.
62.4 for the whole domain. So I just made 70k AP or experience.
Nice.
Of this one. This is what I was doing last night. That's why I stayed up all night long.
Not the same domain, is it?
It's the same.
Yeah,
domain. There's just less people, and
There's you're getting less XP split. That's why.
Well, and what I was doing too, I was taking notes on this earlier when I first woke up on this. I was trying to figure out, because by me not leaving this domain and chasing around the other 3 domens, right? By me not leaving, what I'm doing is I'm killing the very first. I'm hitting the very first ad that pops up.
Mobs. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so I'm, I don't know. It works out really good. I just made fucking like 89. Oh my god, holy shit.
I'm gonna tell you too another tip for you. Like obviously this is gonna be one of those ones when you're not like bouncing the 2 different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're fully on PC, during prime time, go to Southern Elsewhere, pick up the daily for the dragons, and then obviously you only need to kill 3 for the daily, but continue to get. You could just farm dragons over and over and over, like back to back to back to back. And it during prime time, there's so many people killing the dragons. I don't even think they get to fly off once. They just get killed. Within
Do the Dragon Guard quest line too, because you get like 5 or 6 skill points there too, because you need a skill.
Oh
point.
Yeah.
So he'll get a bunch of skill points there, and then he'll get the dailies too, and then he'll get the box, the chest too. So those are the repeatables from the Dragon Guard, right? The dragon ones. That's the same one, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. You get the ones to get the feeding dragons, and then I think there's 2 or 3 down there you can do. But then yeah, you get and that has a bunch of some of those other oh god, I was trying to get some of them a while back. Some of those other motives. That's the only way you can get them pretty much. So I'm starting to fade pretty much. I'm probably not making a whole lot of sense now.
Oh, you're good, man. Let's see. It's just... Well,
So you're owning.
yeah. 15. Hmm. Got 10 points to apply, and I don't know where to apply them. Okay. That'll work. Just trying to get a hit off on every single one of these guys. Already made 4.6. 7K. $9K.
You know the
10K.
the Lightbringer guy or whatever in Southern Elsewhere crew. Actually, you might know who he is too. I don't know if you've ventured that far in PvE. Fun. The floaty guy with the double swords or whatever in Southern Elsewhere.
Yeah, I
World
think.
boss.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing him.
Prey was distracted.
Like I went over and I started soloing him, and then I got killed, and there was a guy there with me, and we both got killed ultimately.
Right.
I forgot because I just got out of that dungeon to swap back to my solo PvE.
Oh.
You destroyed
Right.
Yeah, because normally when I'm out doing solo shit, I run a resto staff on the back bar.
Right.
And I forgot, and I told him, I said, "Hang on, I forgot to swap." And
Yeah.
I just soloed the boss, and he like stood there for like the first half of the fight, just like dumbfounded, like, "Wait, you can solo that
Yeah.
boss?"
Holy shit.
Unburden your
It's not easy, but once you get the high enough gear and stuff. I was trying some of my classes when I was in. I was almost on volleyball up there. I was almost on my necromancer, my stamp crow. I was almost able to solo one of the guys with 2 million. 2 million. It was like I got him down like 20%, and then he did something and just killed me. He's like, "Oh shit!" It's like each time I get him down around 20%. It took me forever to get him down that far. It's like shit. It was a long fight.
Yeah, you just gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Gotta be fucking careful with some of them though, because they hit you with like their heavy attacks and stuff, and you don't roll through it in time, they'll just fucking tap you.
You guys are
I've
gonna
been
call
tapped
me
a few
crazy.
times that way.
I bought 21,000 fucking crowns on the PC and the PS4. That's fucking nuts.
Hey, if you got it, get it. Well, it's cheap. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, it's one of those things where I just know that I got a lot of good guild members, so these crowns are going to be going to somebody who's rewarding of them. We have this tier system set up on the PS4 where like the person who donates the most kind of thing, and I remember my console telling me, well, so-and-so wants crowns. And I got a council meeting I got to attend tomorrow, so I'll probably tell them, all right, who wanted those crowns again? I literally have 2 keyboards. One keyboard for my PS4, one keyboard for my PC. I'm just such a nerd, man. You gotta take into consideration that I used to fucking make fun of people like us that played video games. Now I'm sitting here gaming on a PS4 and a PC. Fucking, it's just insane.
Yeah, how hard you get hooked on some of these games.
Well, it's a lot better than what I used to do with my time. If I go to the casino, spend 10 grand,
Oh, yeah.
you know, like.
So it was,
Good.
I mean, I played a little bit of video games early on, way back when I was young, early on, but gaming wasn't hardly anything even big at all back then. I mean, you know, usually people didn't play games; it was just kids play games.
Right.
I played some games and some of the first early on games that are coming out and stuff, and so yeah, I can see why people get hooked on them. So that's why I never really, you know, thought that much of it. But it's like, I thought bad of it. But I said, yeah, I see how people get hooked on all that stuff. I didn't think about getting that hooked. And then all of a sudden one day, my brother got me into playing WoW and stuff.
Oh my god, you guys.
Oh
Sorry.
man.
I just got 28k for killing those worm cult ads. They're just the ads. I still haven't killed the rest of the ads. Just a little group of ads at the beginning. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.